A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
This is Walter O'Keefe, inviting you to listen in on the Nightline. Tonight, live the incredible life of ages yet to come, in a time that might be 1,000,000 years from now, on X-1. Now, an incredible story of the world beyond.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight's story, Skulking Permit, by Robert Sheckley. But first, hear this. Pick up some Pabst Blue Ribbon. Take it home, chill it, then put it to this test. Have a glass of Pabst with your meals for the next several days. You'll find Pabst Blue Ribbon makes most everything taste better, that it adds zest and sparkle to any meal. Try it. The bright, modern taste of Pabst Blue Ribbon is good any time and wonderful with meals. Pabst is the name. Made by Pabst Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Now, X-1 and Skulking Permit by Robert Sheckley.
August 16th, year 2204. To Central Colonial Administrative Authority, Alpha Centauri Sector. From Colonial Contact Inspector 37. Subject, Lost Colony on Planet New Delaware. First contact established in 200 years. And proceeding on overdrive for personal investigation.
Painter, I thought I told you to
take
consult
it easy,
me.
Mayor. I put the sign up. No aliens allowed within city limits. What's an alien?
Never mind. Look at the church. You painted it wrong.
Now, look, here, I painted that church with a nice bright red. Now, what's wrong with that?
I looked it up. It's a little red schoolhouse, not church house. Churches are supposed to be white.
Oh, I got along fine enough in New Delaware for 200 years without either of them.
Yes, I know, but we need them now, and we haven't got much time.
Hey, when do I get a police chief badge? I read that the police chief always gets a badge.
Make yourself one. Now, go on.
All right, then.
Oh, it sure is hot. I don't know why the inspector couldn't have come in the wintertime. Oh, Tom Fisher.
Yeah?
Come here, Tom. I've got a job for you.
Well, now, look, Mayor, I'm on vacation. The fish won't be back in these waters.
No vacation, not now. The inspectors do any day. Tom, how would you like to be a criminal?
Well, I don't know. What's a criminal?
Well, come over to my house and I'll explain. I've got to appoint a criminal. And it looks to me like you're it.
New Delaware. New Delaware. Do you hear me, New Delaware? Come in immediately.
Yes. We hear you.
This is Colonial Inspector 37. You of New Delaware are still a colony of Earth and subject to our laws. Do you acknowledge that status?
Oh, yes. Yes, we called a town meeting last night and we talked it all over. We're still loyal to Earth.
Excellent. That saves us the trouble of sending an expeditionary force to reconquer you for Imperial Earth.
Imperial? Well, that's funny. All the books talk about Earth as a united democracy.
A lot can change in 200 years.
You realize, of course, there is room for only one intelligent species in the universe, man. All others must be suppressed, wiped out. We can tolerate no aliens. I'm sure you understand, General.
I'm not a general. I'm a mayor.
You're in charge, aren't you?
Yes.
And you're a general. Be sure you're running an Earth colony, General, with no radical departures from the norm, such as free will, free love, free elections, or anything else on the prescribed list. Get your colony in order, General.
Yeah. You see how it is, Tom? Now, about your job, Tom. I'm appointing you town criminal.
Well, I don't see why there has to be a criminal.
All the books say so. The criminal is as important as the postman or the police chief. He works against society. If you don't have people working against society, how can you have people working for it?
I don't want to do it.
Oh, now be reasonable, Tom. When this inspector comes, how can I hold my head up and tell him we don't have any crime? Don't you see that? Right there, the whole thing falls through. He'll see that we're not truly Earth-like. We're faking it. We're aliens. And you heard what he said about being rough on aliens.
Well, yeah. But why me? Now, I'm supposed to have vacation now that the fishing season's over.
Never mind. You're our criminal. Here, I've got this paper all made out for you just to make it legal.
Skulking permit.
Know all men with these presents that Tom Fisher is a duly authorized thief and murderer. He is hereby required to skulk in dismal alleys, haunt places of low repute, and break the law.
What's law?
Well, I'll let you know as fast as I make them up. All Earth colonies have law.
But what do we do?
Well, you steal and kill. Look, I'll give you a couple of books on it, Tom. Steal as much as you like. One murder should be enough. Don't overdo it.
Well, that doesn't sound sensible.
Well, you can work up to it. Why don't you start off easy-like by haunting a place of low repute?
You're listening to Skulking Permit, tonight's attraction on X-1. Careful planning and sensible driving add up to an enjoyable vacation trip. Here are a few tips from the National Safety Council that should help make your trip a pleasure instead of a tense, nerve-wracking time. Before you leave, have the car given a thorough checkup to be sure it will always respond properly to your careful control. Check the emergency equipment you'll need, such as a first aid kit, keys, permits, identification, flashlight, tire-changing equipment, and your unexpired driver's license. Plan your trip for frequent rest stops with a good night's sleep each night. And then, on your trip, pay attention to the job at hand and don't daydream. Stop off the road to see the sights or read the map. Be prepared for winding and straight roads, level and hilly roads, and changing traffic patterns between urban and rural areas. Obey all speed limits, traffic signs, and signals, and keep your distance behind the driver ahead. This vacation is what you've been waiting for all year. Enjoy it with sensible driving. Now, back to Skulking Permit on X-1.
Let's fill him.
Hey, how come you ain't out thieving now, Tom?
Well, I'm planning. My permit says I have to haunt places of low repute, and that's why I'm here.
Oh, this ain't no place of low repute.
Well, you serve the worst meals in town.
Oh, I know. My wife can't cook, but there's a friendly atmosphere here. Folks like it.
Tom, now, just a minute there.
Oh, hi, Billy. What do you have?
I'm on official police business. Now, Tom, what are you doing with that beer?
Drinking it.
Tom, I think you were planning on stealing it. You're a suspicious character. I think I'd better lock you up for further questioning.
No, Billy, what are you doing?
I'm doing my duty, Mayor. Tom here is looking mighty suspicious. The book says...
I know what the book says. I gave you the book. You can't go arresting Tom, not yet.
Huh?
Acting suspiciously isn't a crime.
All right. But I was just trying to do my job. I'll still get you, Tom. Remember, crime does not pay.
Crime doesn't... Hey, that's a real slick way of putting it, isn't it?
I thought it was kind of catchy. I read it in the book.
Morning, Marv. How's the schoolhouse coming?
Oh, hi, Tom. Fair. Would have come along better if I'd had my saw.
Your saw?
Yes, I left it leaning against my door last night. Wasn't there this morning, Tom.
Oh, yeah, your saw. Well, you know how it is, Marv. I had to practice some skulking last night.
Oh, yeah, sure. Say, Tom, do you suppose I could use the saw for a while, just for an hour or two?
Well, I don't know. It's legally stolen, you know.
Well, I'd give it back. I wouldn't keep anything that was legally stolen.
Well, it's in the house with the rest of the loot.
Okay, I'll go borrow it then.
Tom, I've been looking for you.
Oh, morning, Mayor.
Did you steal my bronze plaque?
Oh, I certainly did.
Oh, well, I was just wondering. Well, you got your murder planned? Time is running short. Inspector may land any hour now, so let's get that killing over with.
Oh, well, then, I guess I'll kill George Waterman.
Why?
Why? Why not?
What's your motive?
Well, I thought you just wanted a murder. Who said anything about a motive?
We can't have a fake murder. On Earth, every murderer has a motive.
Oh, well, I don't like the way George walks. Never did, and he's noisy sometimes.
No, that might be good enough for a crime of passion, but you're a legal criminal, Tom. You're ruthless and cold-blooded and cunning. You can't kill someone just because you don't like the way he walks. That's silly.
But I'm supposed to make somebody cease to exist. I mean, like, take Marv Carpenter. Here he is today working on the schoolhouse. Big fella. Now, if I kill him, well, he wouldn't work anymore. Now, I've been trying to imagine it. Marv Carpenter lying on the ground with his eyes glaring open and his mouth twisted and never going to hold a piece of wood in his hands again or never sing a song or have a beer or anything. It just kind of makes me sick. I mean, I can go on with the thieving, but murder...
Yes, I know, but it's your job, Tom. It's for the good of the village.
Murder? Oh, I better go have another beer. Hey, what's that?
That must be the inspector ship landing. Come on, let's go see.
Perimeter guard advance. Sidearms to be worn at all time. And guards at battle stations.
Welcome to New Delaware.
Thank you, General. I'm the inspector. This is Mr. Grant, my political advisor.
Is this the capital of the colony?
Well, I'm afraid there's only one village on the whole of New Delaware.
Only one? Grant, I told you when we surveyed that planet we were wasting our time.
Patience. We're ready, General. Let's inspect your village.
We've got it all. Jail, post office, church, little red schoolhouse. Oh, we're very normal. Very earthly.
Grant, this place is worthless. No smelting, no heavy industry, no atomics, no taxation, they don't have anything. They'll be downgraded at the next colonial board. Why, this place is a utopia. It's subversive. We ought to blow it right out of the sky.
Now, don't be despondent, Inspector. New Delaware has a very important commodity for us.
What? You saw them, hulking peasants, nothing but farmers.
Yes, strong, healthy farmers. Good cannon fodder.
But... Oh.
Let me take over. General.
Yes, sir?
How many able young men are there in the village between the ages of 15 and 60?
Why?
You see, General, Imperial Earth is engaged in a war. The colonies in Ding 4 are revolting against the authority of Mother Earth.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
We need good, healthy fighting men. Our reserves are depleted.
We wish to give all loyal colonists a chance to fight for Mother Earth. We're sure you won't refuse. Most colonies welcome a little conscription. Cleanses the blood. Reduces crime.
Crime? Oh, I thought that would come up. We've taken care of that. I appointed...
You see, Grant? 60, 70, perhaps 100 recruits. Not such a waste of time coming here after all.
Hey, wait a minute, Mayor.
Oh, hello, Tom. What are you doing?
Well, you said there had to be a murder, so
No, wait just a minute. Look, I didn't mean me. It can't be me. You haven't any motive.
Well, I've been pretty sore about you appointing me town criminal.
Look, it was the mayor who appointed you, wasn't it?
Well, sure.
Well, then, look, I'm not the mayor anymore. I'm a general. Look, you see, stars, gold braid.
Well, what's that got to do with it?
Well, you missed the ceremony this afternoon, Tom. The inspector said I had to wear a general's uniform. It was a very friendly ceremony. All the Earthmen were winking at me and each other.
Oh, congratulations. But you were the mayor when you appointed me criminal, so my motive still holds.
Yes, but killing a general isn't murder. It's mutiny.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right, Tom. It's just that I've read up on it and you haven't. Well, I better get back. The inspector wants a lot of the men he can draft.
Are you sure this murder is necessary?
Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely. Just not me.
your luck, huh, Tom?
I just can't do it. Ed, I can't kill anybody in the village. I grew up with them. I've worked with them. I've drank root beer with them. I don't have any motive for killing any of them.
Well, Tom, you have to commit a murder. You don't want to let the village down.
Wait a minute. I got an idea. Ed, suppose I kill the inspector.
What's your motive?
Oh, it would be a very terrible crime. I'd be killing for glory, for fame, for notoriety, and it'll show Earth how earthy New Delaware really is. Well, they'll say crime is so bad here that a criminal actually killed their inspector on the very first day.
Yeah. How are you going to do it?
Well, one of those soldiers got drunk in a bottle of your Keebler juice, and I stole his gun. Well, I better get going. I'll wait for him on the path between the mayor's house and the ship.
Yeah, good luck, Tom.
Yeah, thanks.
Cut, 2, 3, 4. Cut, 2, 3, 4. Figure line there. What a sloppy crew, all their feet.
Still, it's a nice night's work. With those landing parties dying like flies, we can use every new man we can get.
Don't say that.
What? Are you afraid the mayor will hear me? Don't be ridiculous. It's a completely passive population, sheep-like, obedient. But wait till those sergeants get hold of them at the base. They'll whip them into first-class fighting men in no time.
Halt! Stand and deliver!
Why, it's Tom.
Hands up, Inspector. I got you covered. Now, the rest of you, drop your guns and move out of the way.
What? Now, see here.
Now, go on. Now, drop those guns.
What's the meaning of this?
And who are you?
Tom Fisher. I'm the town criminal. I'm going to kill the inspector. Now, please move out of the way.
Criminal? So that's what the mayor was prattling about.
Now, I know we haven't had any murders in 200 years, but I'm changing that now. Move out of the way.
Well, I suppose I'd better get out of the line of fire, eh?
Now, wait a minute. Wait.
Now, don't move. Now, I know just how to do it. I've been thinking about it. I'll push this button and you'll die. Now, you'll fall down on the path, and your eyes will be open and your mouth twisted, and no air going in and out of your lungs, and no beat to your heart. And I can't do it. Here's your gun. Take it. I don't want it.
Quick after him. Sergeant, have the entire ship's company turned out. General, I want all your people out looking for him. Shoot on sight. Kill him instantly.
Oh, we couldn't do that. Although we appreciate the compliment.
What that means?
He's a criminal, yes. That's what I'm trying to explain. I appointed him. We had to have one.
You what?
You mean you had no criminals?
Well, No, I'm afraid not. I'm terribly ashamed. You see, we knew how uncivilized we were, and that's why we did it. I'm dreadfully embarrassed that Tom couldn't handle the job.
Why did you give the assignment to that particular man?
Well, I figured if anyone could kill, Tom could. He's a fisherman, you know. It's pretty gory work.
And he wasn't able to kill the inspector?
Well, we just haven't had to kill anything for 200 years except fish. The only animals on New Delaware are small grass eaters, and they're not good to eat, so we never kill any of them.
And the rest of you would be equally unable to kill?
We wouldn't even get as far as Tom did.
I want that man found and...
Forget about it, Inspector.
What?
We'd better get away from here. You want men in our army who can't kill? Think of it. The morale problem. The possibility of infection. One man in a key position endangering a key ship. Or maybe a whole fleet. Because he can't kill. It isn't worth the risk, Inspector.
Yes, sir. I see what you mean.
Order your troops to get back to the ship. We'll take off at once.
Tom, you can come out now. Tom, they're gone.
He's hiding around here somewhere, Mayor.
Yeah. Tom? Oh, Tom.
Here I am. I'm sorry I bungled it. I guess I won't be needing my skulking permit anymore.
No, I guess not. Well, we did our best.
I had the chance, and then I let you all down.
Oh, Tom, it's not your fault. Now, look how long it took Earth to get civilized. Thousands of years, and we were trying to do it in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, we better get back to the village. Looks like rain.
Yep. Soon I'll start fishing again. Say.
What is it, Tom?
I think I could have done it if I'd only had the sense to think of the inspector as a fish. Well, it's too late now. I guess I'll let the village down.
Fred Collins again, and I'll have a word for you on tonight's X-1 in a moment.
This is Bob Haynes speaking to you from somewhere in the Caribbean. I am aboard a UDT personnel landing craft. That's the Underwater Demolitions Team. We are right now on our way out to rendezvous with United States submarine Sea Lion.
Monitor took you there.
Some men go over Niagara Falls in a barrel. Some people sit on top of flagpoles. But we have a man by the name of Rajah Phillips from India who is buried alive right in the center of a furniture store here in Owensboro, Kentucky.
And Monitor took you there. Big events, little events, offbeat events, comedy, music, news, and sports. They're all part of the top variety of entertainment Monitor brings you all weekend long. This is Frank Blair inviting you to join us on Monitor every weekend and Friday nights, too, on most of these NBC stations.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Blaze of Glory by Robert Silverberg. Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you Skulking Permit, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Robert Sheckley and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in our cast were Richard Hamilton, Wendell Holmes, Dean Almquist, Mandel Kramer, Ted Osborne, Santos Ortega, and Bob Hastings. This is Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
There's excitement in the air at night, and Nightline brings it to you. Hear Nightline with Walter O'Keefe, next on most of these NBC stations.
When Captain Bradford decided to attempt to escape with the rescue boat which Johnson sailed to within a few miles of the Magic Island, Mrs. Gregory and the captain planned to send a code message to Johnson and have him standing by to help them when their fuel ran out. However, it was discovered that even though the captain's formula put all the chemists to sleep in the laboratory, the other Euclideans are very careful in their watch over the island, and the radio message can't be sent from the boat. Jerry and Joan take a desperate chance in going down into the lower levels of the island, and in trying to escape from one of the Euclidean guards, they are climbing down the inside of an elevator shaft when the elevator starts down after them.
Jerry, that car has passed the 4th floor.
Can't you get this door on the 6th floor open?
No. We must just go down as fast as we can and hope the elevator does not catch us.
Come on, then. Hurry it up.
I am hurrying, Jerry, but that car sounds very near.
Well, if we have to, we'll yell and give ourselves away.
It would do no good. The inside of the car is so noisy we could not be heard.
Hey, Joan, the elevator stopped.
The guard is leaving the elevator on the 5th level.
He's gone now. Well, I guess he decided we were on the same level with the laboratory.
That does not seem right, Jerry. The guard would know we could not be on that level. There is something else happening.
Hey, what was that for?
That was a general alarm for the laboratory on the 5th level.
Well, let's do something about it.
There is nothing we can do, Jerry. But we must hurry to the bottom of this elevator shaft and try to reach the power chambers in the sub-levels.
Let's hurry it up, then. I'm getting mighty tired of playing tag up and down this little steel ladder in the dark.
We have only about 40 feet to go now, Jerry.
Oh, that's nice. Just about 40 feet more down this ladder. What do we do when we hit the bottom?
There is a steel floor at the bottom and doors open on all sides of the shaft. I will show you which one to use.
I'll be glad to see any kind of a door that will open when we want it to.
If you would talk less and move faster, Jerry, we would soon be down.
Okay with me. Here goes for silence and action. Hey, you stepped on my fingers.
I thought you were going to hurry.
I'll show you some hurrying. Oh, boy. I'm down on the floor.
I will be there in a moment, Jerry.
Hurry up.
Oh, Jerry, that was a long climb, was it not?
Sure was.
We will try this door directly in front of us. Do not use your flashlight, Jerry. We must only feel our way in the dark until we are in a lighted passage.
Okay. How do you open this thing?
Just push it gently, Jerry. It should be quite noiseless.
Well, I'll try it. Yep, it moves all right. Hey, look, Joan. There's a crack of light around the edge of the door now.
Open it very carefully, Jerry. It is possible there will be a guard stationed there.
I'll sneak it open. There it is. Now, that's open far enough to get out through. I don't see anyone yet.
Then it will be safe to go out into the passageway. Go on, Jerry.
Okay. No, not a soul in sight.
Close the door carefully. I think it is noiseless, but we must take no chances.
Right. There it is. Now where?
As you can see, this corridor or tunnel runs around the outside of the lowest level in the island proper. We are now 100 feet below the level of the surface of the island, and about 90 feet below the water level.
And these power rooms we're trying to get to are still further down?
Yes, there are 2 sub-levels under us. The rooms we are interested in are in the first level, directly under our feet.
Then let's get going and do something about it.
We will go carefully and swiftly around this curving passageway to the steps which lead down into the power rooms. And then...
Well, what if we run into one of these guards?
Oh, there is no if, Jerry. We will meet one of them.
Oh, that's nice. What do we do with him?
We must put him to sleep with a ray gun.
Yeah, but what's he going to be doing all this time?
We must give him no chance to do anything. As we start to walk from here, you will walk in front of me. I will point my ray gun at your back as if you were my prisoner.
Well, don't forget, we're just playing it I'm your prisoner.
Oh, do not worry about that. When we meet the guard, I will tell him that I followed you down here and captured you. Then I will find some excuse to walk back here, and he will start the other way with you. That will give me an opportunity to use the ray gun on the back of his head.
All right. Then after this guard goes to sleep, what do we do next?
As this is a 300-second ray gun, the guard will only sleep for 5 minutes. In that time, we must go down into the power rooms, pass such other guards as we have to, shut off the power, and escape from this level.
Oh, and we've got 5 minutes to do all that in. Hey, what do we do in our spare time?
I think that will take nearly all of the 5 minutes.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Well, come on. Let's meet this guard and get it over with. Hey, that means the chemical laboratory again, doesn't it?
Yes, Jerry. Something very important is taking place there. That is the second alarm. And that means that everyone on the island who can is to rush to the 5th level at once.
Oh, how about these guards we've got to meet around here? Will that alarm also get them out of the way?
No, the guards will not leave their places for any reason. But the alarm will call everyone not on guard duty or in the confinement cells.
Say, how about those confinement cells? If everybody on this island is a Euclidean, why do they have to have those guards all over the place and so many cells?
There are a great many people here who are not really Euclideans. Captain Bradford was very near the truth when he said that many of the island people must be no more than prisoners. That is exactly what they are, prisoners, who are made to do all the hard work at the bidding of the Euclidean scientists.
They're not getting much action, whatever it's all about. Let's go and get this over with.
You walk a few steps ahead of me. I will hold this ray gun carefully trained on your back. Remember how you are to act as we meet the guard.
I got it. Come on.
We should meet him just around the curve in the passage. Say no more until we arrive there.
You will stand where you are. Do not advance another step. What are you doing in this passageway?
I am Cleostra. This man is my prisoner, guard. I am taking him to the General Control Chambers for questioning by the Euclidean Board of Governors.
Hey, now look here. I wasn't doing anything. I was...
Silence! What was this man doing here, Cleostra?
I was instructed to guide him to the chemical laboratory on the 5th level. He has an antidote for the sleeping gas which has overcome the scientists.
Oh, well, what if I have?
Silence.
Okay.
Proceed, Cleostra. What is this man doing here?
I took him to the 5th level as instructed. There he broke away from me and reached this level before I could overtake him. For some reason, he has refused to take the formula which he holds to the laboratory.
Why is that, fool?
Because if those Euclideans never wake up, it'll be too soon for me.
So, I think I...
No, not that, guard. He must be taken unharmed before the remaining scientists and compelled to deliver the formula. Then he is to stand close by and watch it compounded in the laboratory. This is to prevent any treachery.
That is well ordered. If he escaped from you once, how can you be sure of delivering him safely there now?
Oh, she can't be. It'll take more than a girl with a ray gun in her hand to take me anywhere. If she uses that thing on me, I'll only go to sleep for 5 minutes. I'm kind of tired anyway.
I have a plan, Guard. You take this man to the scientist. Your ray gun will put him in a far different kind of sleep if he resists you. I will attend your station until you return.
It is well. These men in the laboratory must be revived at any cost. I will take him. Precede me, fool. And remember that this ray gun will put you to sleep for 1,000 years. Walk quickly. That way.
Okay, but you don't have to get so rough about it.
Silence! I will return soon, Cleostra.
That is well. All right, Jerry. You may turn around now.
I hope I can turn around. Yep. My neck moves anyway. Boy, when I heard that ray gun start crying up the back of my neck, I sure got a scare.
He will sleep nicely there for 5 minutes, Jerry. Now we must hurry on.
Boy, he didn't make a sound when he fell on this noiseless floor. Say, talking about making a sound, wouldn't they hear that ray gun down in the power room?
No, Jerry. The power room is not noiseless. It is another room that is kept deliberately noisy, so the human ear will learn to distinguish the sounds of the various machines and whether or not they are in perfect operation.
Okay, come on then. Let's beat it for the power room.
And when we get there, we will just have to walk boldly in. I know the location of the principal switches and valves. We will have to move rapidly. You must do as I tell you about everything you touch. Then our chances of escape will be a matter of seconds, possibly a fraction of a second.
Did you ever try to cut a second up into little pieces?
Of course not, Jerry. But a second does have an element of time within its limits, which gives the human brain scope enough to encompass a considerable flight of mental activity.
I got it. A second gives you long enough to think about all the other places you ought to be when the ray gun starts on you.
Come, Jerry, this is not the time for joking.
I sort of figured that out for myself.
Quiet now. There is the door of the power chamber stairway. We must descend one flight.
All right. Do I just jerk it open?
Yes. Open it barely a crack at first. We may see something of advantage. Slowly and carefully now, Jerry.
Gee, what a place.
It is wonderful, Jerry. There is enough power generated here to light a city in your world.
Boy, I believe it. Well, what do we do now?
Let me see. Yes. Do you see those 2 large valves at the foot of the steps? To your left?
Yeah?
You will open those wide and do it quickly. I will open all the switches on the master panel in the center of the room. Then we must run madly back up these steps and out.
But, hey, you're going to take the dangerous part. You'll be farther from the door.
No, Jerry. It will take you longer to open the valves. Now, ready?
Ready?
Then we go.
Over the magic island of Euclidia, that weird, soft darkness of the South Seas is beginning to steal. It's after 7 o'clock in the evening, and the Gregory boat is to attempt its escape promptly at 8 o'clock. Jerry and Joan have gone down into the lower levels of the island to aid the escape by putting some of the Euclidean machinery out of order. In the radio cabin of the Gregory yacht, lashed to the boat which was to have rescued them all, Captain Bradford and Mrs. Gregory are making last-minute preparations for the dash to freedom. They are waiting for word from Jerry and Joan, in the hope that it may be possible to get a radio message off to Johnson.
I know all that text, but why don't we hear from them?
No, take it easy, Pat. Those kids left here at 6:30. It's only about 7:20 now. They've been gone less than an hour. Joan said it would take them over an hour to cover all the places they had to go on the island, even if they had good luck.
That's it. If they had good luck. Don't you realize all the terrible things that might have happened to them in the last 45 minutes?
Of course I realize what might have happened, dear, but...
They're down there inside that awful island somewhere, trying to upset the workings of a mechanically perfect fortress. Just 2 children against the most powerful scientific combination the world has ever known. Why, G-47 alone is dangerous enough without...
G-47 is sound asleep in his chemical laboratory, Pat. He can't do anything to harm those kids.
But he has assistants and guards all over the place, to say nothing of all the mechanical and electrical devices which automatically protect the inner workings of the island.
Yes, and don't forget that Joan has lived 14 years on this island. She has had the freedom of it as a child. She probably knows every nook and cranny of it, as well as the Euclideans themselves.
Tex, the alarm gong. It struck once, then 5 times. What does that mean?
I'm not sure, Pat. But I think the 5 strokes mean the 5th level of the island. That's where the chemical laboratory is.
Then it might mean that Jerry and Joan have been caught on that level. Perhaps some of the chemists woke up before you expected it, and they've caught Jerry and Joan.
You're just making that up, Pat. We didn't expect them back until just before 8. Joan said it might be necessary for them to remain hidden on the island, and only rushed to join us here on the boat at the last minute. So we'll have to go ahead and make sure our arrangements are complete to shove off at 8. And just hope the kids make it as we're ready to leave.
Sorry, Tex. I let myself go, I guess.
Come in. Oh, Mac. Come in and close the door.
I've just come to tell you that all's been done that can be done about getting the other boat ready.
That's fine, Mac. Thanks a lot.
Everything out of the hold? All the supplies?
Aye. They're all transferred to the diesel cruiser. And it was no small job getting them through that hole down on the water line.
How about that hole, Tex? When will we cover it?
We'll have to sail with it open. We'll leave this boat through the holes and cast off immediately.
That hole is very close to the water line, Captain. We'll ship a lot of water going out through that swell.
Can't be helped. We'd be caught sure if we tried to cover it here between the piers. I've got a good temporary hatch we can slam in there. By hanging some mats over the hatch, we can be fairly safe.
Remember that we can't use the pumps, Tex. We'll need all the fuel to run the motor.
Yes, and then some. How far have we got a chance to get on that fuel, Mac?
If we slip out of here under sail and keep the sail up after we start the motor, we ought to make 75 miles. There'll be a brisk wind to help us a bit later, I think.
But if we're moving slowly enough for the sail to help us any, we can't make over 15 or 20 knots.
Well, we'll see what the situation is when we sail. Jerry and Joan may give us enough leeway so that we can take our time.
And again, supposing we are caught, we'll have to drag them aboard openly and run for it.
Well, in that case, we'll open the motors wide and let her roar as far as the oil lasts. And hope we can get a message to Johnson before he gets too far north to run back to our aid.
Well, what does that thing mean?
We're not sure, but it's probably something about the chemical laboratory on the 5th level of the island, where the captain's formula put all those scientists to sleep.
Oh, now did you know it would do that, Captain?
Yes, and it should keep them asleep long enough to give us a chance to be many miles from this island when they wake up.
But it will also make them very angry when they do wake up.
That can't be helped, Mac. They haven't any love for us as it is. They've only allowed us the freedom we've had, in the hopes they'd get another formula of Texas. And if we don't escape, they'll finally find a way to get it.
Well, I'll shove off to the other boat. Let me know as soon as you have news of the young people on the island, if you please.
We'll keep you posted, Johnson.
Oh, I wonder if we've really fooled anyone on the island, Tex.
You mean about Johnson being on another boat and our calling McLeod Johnson?
Yes.
I think so, Pat. Why should they think otherwise?
Jerry said that woman submarine commander knew Johnson wasn't aboard that boat when it arrived. And if she knew it, why not others on the island?
You know, I think Jerry was right about her. She's fed up with this island and these cold-blooded, inhuman machines who call themselves Euclideans. She wants to see our world and learn something of the natural, happy way we live.
That's all true enough. And I think we can trust her. The fact that she deliberately walked into that laboratory and let the gas put her to sleep so it'd help Jerry and Joan get away safely, all that proves her sincerity. But what I meant was, why couldn't someone else on the island have detected Johnson's absence in the same manner as herself?
Well, of course, there's a chance of all that, Pat, but we've got to hope for the best.
That was different, Tex. The gong struck 6 times then.
Yeah. I wonder what's happening on the 6th level. That was what it meant.
I'm afraid it has something to do with Jerry and Joan.
Oh, now you're letting your imagination run away with you, Pat. You don't know any more about what's happening on that island than I do. And that's not much.
That was 7, Tex. 7 strokes on that gong. That'd mean the 7th level. I know it's something about Jerry and Joan. They're being followed, Tex. I can feel it.
Steady, Pat. You don't know anything of the kind.
Did you hear it, Tex? 8. The 8th level. They are following them down into the depths of the island.
Stop it, Pat. Stop it. You're hysterical. You're just imagining things.
I can see them now, Tex.
just as if I were with them. Those terrible bells, following them from floor to floor as they try to escape. That was 9, Jerry. The alarm has come to the 9th floor, just one above us. We must do this quickly.
Right, Joan. You throw these switches, I'll open the valves. Then we run out fast. Come on, kid. Come on, Joan. Run for it.
Coming, Jerry.
Gee, that room's filling up with water awfully fast. Were those men drowned in there?
No, Jerry. They can use airlocks and escape.
Okay, let's move fast. Where now?
That was 10, Jerry, for this floor. In a moment, the floor will be full of guards looking for us.
How can we get out of here?
Come, Jerry. We must run. I will tell you as we go. We must go back to the noisy elevator shaft.
But somebody might be coming down that way.
They will be coming down always. But I have one desperate hope.
Yeah? What's that?
Remember, I told you that there were doors in both sides of that elevator shaft.
Yeah? Right.
Oh, Jerry. We are here. I am breathing heavily.
Well, never mind. Breathing. What do we do?
First, we must open the door into the shaft, cross the shaft, and go out the other side. I know how to get from there to the top of the island.
Come on, then. Here goes. Now, we just run straight across the bottom of this shaft and out the other side, huh?
Yes, Jerry.
Hey, the elevator's coming down on us. We can't make it.
We've got to make it. Run across, Jerry.
Boy.
Are you all right, Jerry?
If I could get my heart out of my mouth so I could talk, I'd tell you.
We barely made it, Jerry. That elevator car touched my dress as I came through the door.
Can they get out of this door after us?
No, I have locked it on this side.
Well, that gives us time to breathe anyway. Now, where do we go from here?
We have no choice now, Jerry. We have shut off all the power on the island, except what is in the batteries in the radio chamber and one private elevator. The Euclideans can do very little to follow our boat when we escape.
When we escape? You mean if we escape?
But we will escape. But now come, Jerry. There's a long spiral ramp from here to the surface of the island. It is very steep, and it will be a long, hard, dangerous climb. But we must attempt it.
You mean that steel slippery thing over there? That looks like a chute to slide things down?
Yes, that is exactly what it is. The Euclideans built it so that supplies and materials taken from boats which had to be destroyed quickly could be shot down here to safety, as the island was submerged.
And we've got to climb up that corkscrew tunnel? 100 feet straight up a thing that was made to shoot baggage down in a hurry?
Yes, Jerry. We will take off our shoes. I think the channel is narrow enough so that we may press our hands and feet against the sides and work our way up.
Okay, kid. I can stand it if you can. Gee, but you're the bravest girl I ever saw.
I'm happy to have you say that, Jerry. Hurry with the shoes.
Are there any doors in that thing? I mean, can anybody look into it from any of these levels and catch us as we go past?
There is only one other opening. That is on the 5th level. There is also a little platform there on which we may rest.
Well, that helps a little. 50 feet, then we rest. Then some guy sticks his head out a door and catches us resting.
We can only hope that no one suspects we are doing this.
I'm kind of worried about all those fellows we let the water in on, down in that power room.
They will all escape, Jerry. Each man has an airlock. They simply step into them and shoot to the surface of the island as if in a torpedo tube.
Well, let's start climbing this thing. Joan, listen. Isn't that the signal to submerge?
Yes, Jerry. The island would be submerged.
Then what happens to us? And your mother and Captain Bradford out there in that boat?
I do not know, Jerry. All we can do is hope and climb.
Some things are better than others, but that we should never say that anything is wrong, that it has no value. That's not true. There are things that are wrong. Yes, some things are just plain wrong. No rightness about them. Atomic war is one of those things. If we get started on a real atomic war, you see, ordinary war destroys men. Atomic war can destroy humanness by producing mutations that aren't human. But there's another thing that's wrong, too. And that's the wrongness of fooling yourself. Not merely others, but fooling yourself. And that's tonight's story.
And you say the annual budget of this institution is $8 million, Dr. Hawley?
That's right, Senator Bryan. $8 million a year for the care and feeding of...
The freaks, Doctor?
Oh, we try never to think of them as freaks, Senator, and never to speak of them that way. Some of them have unusually sensitive hearing.
Yes, but they are...
Well, they're mutants, Senator. Genetic sports created by radioactive fallout. You might say they're martyrs to the criminal stupidity of the 20th century.
Well, is it compulsory for a mutant to live in an institution like this? I confess I'm not completely familiar with the legal aspect.
Compulsory? No, Senator. It's not compulsory. But it's often simpler for a mutant to live within these walls than out there in the world at large.
So I can understand that.
80% of them have come here voluntarily.
And the rest?
Committed by relatives who couldn't stand the sight of them. But, come, let me show you some of the patients, Senator. That's Anna over there. You'll notice I didn't bother knocking. Anna doesn't hear sound. When she wants privacy, she just bolts her door.
But what is she doing?
Thinking.
That's all? Just thinking?
Well, that's all she ever does, Senator. She's busy working on a new cosmological theory. Come, Senator. We're disturbing her concentration. Let's try another room. Now, there are many different types of mutations, of course, Senator. Hardly any two are alike. And some of our patients are simply physically deformed. You know, an extra limb, a strange texture of skin, differences like that. But others are more or less normal physically, but have unusual mental ability. And still others, like Anna here, well, they're both deformed and mentally unusual. Now, in this room, we have a pair of remarkable mutants.
Dr. Hawley, what's that coming up the hall toward us?
It's Merrick, one of our more interesting patients.
You let them wander around the hall?
This isn't a prison, Senator. Hello there, Merrick. Where are you heading?
I'm taking a little walk, Dr. Hawley.
This is Senator Bryan. He's paying us a visit here today. He's on the Senate Appropriations Committee.
How interesting. I'm leaving here, Dr. Hawley, right now.
Leaving? But you haven't been out of here in 10 years, Merrick.
I've decided to give the world another chance.
You know the rules, Merrick. If you volunteer to come in as a patient, you have to give 3 months' notice. Now, that way we can prepare you for life in the outside world.
I'm leaving right now, Doctor. 10 minutes after I'm gone, you will forget all about this. You remember there was once a Clyde Merrick here, but according to your records, he was discharged today, September 4th, 2019. You go directly to the recording computer and make the change. And as for you, Senator, whatever your name, you will have no recollection whatever of this conversation. And when you return to Washington, you will do your best to see that Dr. Hawley's appropriation is increased. Is all that clear? Good. Goodbye, Dr. Hawley. Thank you for everything.
Very well, Senator.
let's continue our little tour now. Suppose I let you see our recreational therapy wing now.
It's all right, Doctor. I don't feel very well. Could we sit down and rest for a while? The oddest sensation in my head. It's as if I fell asleep for a few minutes. I had a very strange dream. A young man talking to me.
Maybe a little fresh air. It's rather warm in here.
Yes. Fresh air would be good.
Straight through that corridor. It'll take you to the courtyard. I'll be with you in just a moment. I have to stop in at the office and make an entry on a patient's record. Something I've been meaning to do for a long time. I keep forgetting it. I'll be with you in a moment, Senator.
The danger you can't stop is the danger that by its very nature keeps you from seeing that it's there or knowing that you've met it. That's a hard one to stop. It camouflages itself so that you don't even know you encountered it.
Driving to town, miss?
Yes. Yes, I am, but I never pick up strangers when I'm driving alone. Why did I stop the car?
You will give me a lift.
Sure. Climb in. Over here next to me.
Thanks. I was sure you would change your mind.
This is an awfully lonely part of the country to be hitching a ride in. Where are you coming from?
You see that building up on the hill with the brick fence around it?
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
Some sort of government hospital, isn't it?
Close. It's a sanctuary for mutants. That's where I was coming from.
From the mutant sanctuary? But are you
a mutant? Do I look like one?
I don't know. You look...
How do I look? I look perfectly normal, don't I?
Yes, you look perfectly normal in every way.
Tell me how I look to you.
You're tall, blonde, blue-eyed, broad-shouldered, nice smile.
You'd say I was good-looking?
Yes. Yes, I'd say you were quite handsome.
Thank you. But what's your name?
Lisa Roberts. You?
My name is Clyde Merrick.
Oh, you must work at the sanctuary, then.
Yes, that's right. I work there. This is my afternoon off, and I thought I'd hitch a ride into town for some fun.
Well, you're lucky I stopped for you. I'm going all the way into town. And you know, it's funny, too. I never usually stop for strangers. Tony says I shouldn't.
Oh, who is Tony?
My fiancé.
You're going to get married, then?
That's what having a fiancé usually means. Yeah, we're getting married in December. Going for a long cruise on our honeymoon.
What do you do, Lisa?
Do? Oh, I'm a dancer. Maybe you've seen me on TV. I'm usually on every Saturday night. Not that anyone ever remembers the girl from the chorus.
I don't look at TV much, I'm afraid. Is this Tony of yours a dancer, too?
Yes, he's the leading man of the show.
You love him very much, don't you? You could never think of marrying anyone else.
You do talk strangely sometimes. I guess it's because you're around those crazy mutants all the time. Of course I love him very much. What do you think?
How do you feel about mutants, Lisa?
Just the way everyone else does, I suppose.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, I feel sort of pity for them. But still, pity and all makes me feel creepy to think about people with two heads and all.
None of them have two heads, Lisa. That particular mutation doesn't survive to adulthood. Most of the really strange ones die off the first few weeks of life.
No, even so, I've seen pictures of them. Oof. It's a good thing they keep themselves cooped up in their sanctuaries. Good for them and good for us.
But sometimes they leave the sanctuaries. They try to live like normal people.
But they aren't normal people.
Sometimes they can convince others that they are normal. We can be very convincing, Lisa.
We?
I'm a mutant, Lisa. I'm casting a mental projection that hides my true appearance.
Oh, no. Leave me alone. Get out of the car.
Oh, slow down. I won't hurt you. I'm very friendly. I'm a lonely person, Lisa, and you're so beautiful. You're not afraid of me, are you?
I'm not afraid of you.
Of course you aren't. You like me. You like me very much. I'm tall and broad-shouldered, and you think I'm handsome.
Very handsome.
More handsome than your fiancé, Tony.
Of course.
You're wondering what you ever saw in Tony, aren't you? You're starting to forget you ever had any liking for him at all.
I can't imagine how I could ever let myself think I cared for him.
You're forgetting him rapidly. You don't even know who Tony is now, but you know who I am, don't you?
Yes. Yes, of course.
And you love me. You've only known me for a few minutes, but despite that, you've fallen deeply in love with me. Haven't you, Lisa?
Yes. I love you, Clyde.
And I love you, Lisa. Will you marry me, Lisa?
Of course, Clyde. Yes, I'll marry you, darling.
Of course, it isn't really Clyde Merrick's fault. He's not responsible for what he is. He was made that way by the genetic mutations caused by too much atomic warfare. It isn't his fault. But that doesn't make him tolerable, does it? He is an intolerable menace.
Oh, that was a wonderful meal, darling. You know, I don't know how you did it. All those people waiting in line for tables, and the head waiter just took you right over to the spot.
I have ways of being persuasive.
Oh, I see. You love me?
Of course, Lisa.
We'll be married tomorrow and go far, far away. Rent a cabin somewhere and stay there for months and months and just read and fish and sleep. Oh, it sounds wonderful.
It is wonderful. Just the two of us.
I can't wait.
You're not worried about Tony, are you?
Tony? I don't know anyone named Tony, do I?
No, you don't know anyone named Tony. Come on, let's get out of here.
If you say so, darling. Where will we go?
Your car. We'll drive out into the country. You can't see the stars here in town.
You haven't paid the check.
It doesn't matter. You see them trying to stop me?
Well, no, but
I can eat for free anytime. You see? They're smiling goodbye to us.
Drive anywhere?
Take the road you were on this morning when you met me.
Of course.
Lisa.
What is it, dear?
Do you really love me? Really and truly love?
I love you, Clyde.
No. No, you don't. Not at all.
Oh, whatever do you mean?
It's no good. It isn't real. It's just another fraud.
I don't understand.
You don't love me. Not really. I've made you think you do, and you say you do, but that isn't enough. Every time I'd kiss you, every time I'd hold you in my arms, I'd know you were nothing but a puppet playing the role I made you play. Do you call that love?
Clyde, you're talking nonsense.
I wish I were. I thought I might be able to find some fulfillment outside the sanctuary, but I was wrong. What good is it all? I can fool everyone. Everyone except myself. Lisa, tell me again. How do I look to you?
Well, tall, very good-looking, blonde hair, kind of wavy, regular features.
In other words, as handsome as a video star. All right, stop the car.
Stop it? Why?
Because I want you to.
Well?
Ever since I left the sanctuary this morning, I've been projecting a false appearance. It's a power of mine. Something special I have, thanks to the otherwise unkind Providence. I'm going to turn that projection off now, Lisa. Let you have a look at me as I really am. As I look without the benefit of hypnotic trickery.
Oh, no! Oh, no! Hideous. That face, those eyes, the skin.
Everything's all right now. You're starting to forget. In a moment, you'll have forgotten it. There. All better. How do you feel?
All right, Clyde.
Good. But you see, Lisa, I was wrong. I thought if I left the sanctuary at last, disguising myself as one of the normals, I could be happier. I could... But it would be a synthetic happiness. You can't live on nothing but cotton candy, Lisa. Start the car.
Yes, Clyde.
Drive up the hill to your left. And that's it, right up to those big gates. All right. Stop here. This is the sanctuary. I'm back home now. Home to stay where I belong.
Clyde, I'm all mixed up. I don't know what's happening.
You're going to turn your car around and drive home, Lisa. You're going to go home and go to bed. And when you wake up in the morning, you'll have no recollection of today at all. You'll simply have lost a day. And you'll marry your Tony, and you'll be happy with him. Is that clear, Lisa?
Yes, Clyde.
All right now. You're beginning to forget me already. Say goodbye to me, Lisa.
Goodbye, Clyde.
That's right. No, don't kiss me. Back home again. Goodbye, Lisa.
The saving grace in Clyde Merrick was that while he could fool all those around him, he didn't fool himself.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman!
Look at the sky! Look! It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who has come to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, and who fights a never-ending battle against crime and oppression, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. The mystery surrounding the dragon's teeth, 10 pieces of precious Chinese jade that hold the secret of everlasting life, is deepening. As our story continues today, Lois Lane, star girl reporter of the Daily Planet, and young Jimmy Olsen are seated in the Chinatown apartment of Dr. Chi Wan, Oriental scholar and art collector. They are about to drink some of the Chinese tea that only 10 minutes before poisoned Perry White, editor of the Daily Planet. But neither Lois nor Jimmy are aware that death lurks in the cups Chi Wan is preparing for them. Listen.
Sugar, Miss Lane?
2, please. 3 for me.
Ah, you have a sweet tooth, young man. Your cup, Miss Lane.
Thank you.
Young man?
Thanks. My, this tea certainly is pungent.
Yes. It is a special blend of choice leaves. I feel certain you will enjoy it thoroughly.
I'm sure I will. Well, bottoms up, Jimmy.
Don't drink that tea.
It's Superman.
Put those cups down. Both of you. Now, Dr. Wan, you have a little explaining to do.
I do not understand. Who are you? How did you burst through a window like some giant bird?
He's Superman. He can fly through the air and break a stone wall with his fists. I can't believe it.
Who is this man? Why does he wear a red cloak?
I told you, he's Superman.
Who I am is of little importance at the moment, Dr. Wan. There are a few other little matters to be cleared up. Matters that involve murder.
Murder?
That tea in those cups. It's poison.
Poison? Gee, Willie.
No, it cannot be. It is impossible. Look, I will drink it myself.
Don't be a fool. Now listen to me. 2 men visited you less than half hour ago. Is that true?
Yes. Mr. White and Mr. Kent.
You served them this tea, didn't you?
Yes, but
While you were out of the room, Mr. White drank some of the tea. In less than a minute, he collapsed, gasping for breath. He was rushed to the hospital, where even now he is lying at death's door.
No.
It's all right, Miss Lane. Everything possible is being done for him. The doctors say he has a good chance.
You poisoned him. And you tried to poison us.
On the honor of my ancestors, I did not.
One moment. There's a taxi waiting at the door, Miss Lane. I think you and young Jimmy had better go. I'll take care of Dr. Wan.
Well, I'm afraid to go downstairs alone. You see, someone tried to attack us when we came here.
There's nothing to be afraid of. I've seen to that. The driver has instructions to take you back to your office.
Well, I don't suppose there's any way I can thank you for what you've done.
Yes, there is. Don't mention having seen me to a soul. The work I do can only be accomplished if I remain a legend.
You had my promise. Goodbye.
So long, Superman. Gee.
So long, Jimmy. And now, Dr. Wan...
You must believe me. I did not know the tea was poisoned. My enemies are like the sands of the desert. It was they who...
Just a moment. Where are the dragon's teeth?
You know about them?
Yes. Where are they?
I have them here, in this velvet case. There are 9 of them, gathered from the 4 corners of the earth.
And each of these pieces of jade is engraved with a symbol representing a rare herb found only in the mountains of western China.
Yes, but how did you know?
Never mind that. These herbs, when combined and ground into a powder, are said to make the human body free of disease.
Yes, but one must have all 10 herbs, and the 10th dragon's tooth is owned by another.
Walter Huffman, a dealer in jewels.
I am amazed. Amazed. Tell me who you are. How do you know all that you have repeated to me?
I come from another planet, Dr. Wan, the planet Krypton, long since shattered into a million glowing fragments. Here on Earth, I am known as Superman because of the strange powers I possess. The powers of strength, power of speed, but above all, the power to resist disease. Look, this tea is impregnated with deadly poison.
No, do not drink it.
I assure you it will have no ill effect on me. There. You see?
I am witnessing a miracle.
No, Dr. Wan. merely a strange twist of fate that brought me to Earth. But enough of that. I believe you when you tell me you did not poison the tea.
I would have no reason.
Exactly. But others might have a reason. To get possession of the 9 dragons' teeth.
It can only be Hoffman.
Whoever it is, I will help you. If there is anything at all in the magic of these 10 herbs, it must be given to humanity and not used for personal gain.
You speak, Superman, as I myself have spoken.
Good. Then we can work together. Now tell me more about Walter Huffman.
He is a man who has dealt in jewels for many years.
Yes?
He is shrewd, unscrupulous. A man who would not hesitate to crush anyone who stood in his way.
Hmm? Where can he be reached?
He maintains an office in the city building. But let me warn you, he is dangerous.
Thank you. I must go now.
What about the dragon's teeth? You wish to take them with you? They are not safe here.
They will be safe until tomorrow, at which time Mr. Kent will call for them. Now remember, not a word of this to anyone.
Nothing shall pass my lips. I will unlock the door for you.
The door? The window is good enough.
The window?
Goodbye, Dr. Wan.
Goodbye. And blessings.
Up! Up! And away!
It is miracle. My eyes have seen miracle.
Help! Help!
Don't bother calling your servant, Dr. Wan. He can't hear you. He's gone.
Who is there?
Step back and I will come out of the darkness.
Hoffman.
Yes, my friend. You don't seem pleased to see me.
How did you enter? Who let you in?
Sao, your little Chinese boy. I paid him well.
No, you are lying.
Why should I lie? It was also Sao who poisoned the tea you failed to drink. However, I did not come to discuss my message with you. You know what I want.
No, I do not have them. They have been taken
that
away.
That velvet box in your hand. Don't try to hide it behind your back. Give it to me.
No, never.
You heard what I said. Give it to me.
No, help!
Shut up, you fool.
Help!
Calling Radio Car 782. Radio Car 782. Departmental Order 4953. Report to number 44 Boyer Street. Homicide. I will repeat. Calling Radio Car 782. Radio Car...
Copy, boy, copy.
Yes, Mr. Horgan.
Here, rush this down, Jimmy. Tell Riley to squeeze it into page 2. It's a Chinaman, but he's important.
Gee, Willick. Dr. Wan.
What's the matter? You know him, Jimmy?
You bet. Miss Lane. Miss Lane. Miss Lane, look at this.
Chinese scholar murdered.
Yep.
Dr. Chi Wan, eminent authority on Oriental art, was beaten to death tonight in the living room of his apartment at 44 Boyer Street. Jimmy, is this your idea of a joke?
It's no joke. Honest, it isn't. It just came in on the teletype from police headquarters. Read the rest of it.
Okay. Superficial examination revealed that Dr. Wan had been struck with a blunt instrument. Oh, Jimmy, this is terrible. I spoke to him less than a half hour ago.
That's right.
Well, Kent just called from the hospital. He's with Mr. White. I'm going to rush down and talk to him about this.
Can I come?
No, you'd better stay here. I'll be back soon.
Miss Lane, you don't think Superman...
That's just what I'm wondering, Jimmy. I'll see you later.
Dr. Marston wanted in surgery. Dr. Marston wanted in surgery.
Well, Mr. White's fine, Lois. Too bad you can't see him, but visiting hours are over.
Well, that's not what I rushed down here for. Here, read it.
What? Great Scott. Well, this is impossible. I just left him.
You just left him?
Well, I mean about an hour or so ago.
Well, anyhow, listen to this. Jimmy and I were sitting in his apartment less than a half hour ago. Suddenly, a man in a blue costume and a red cape came crashing through the window. Jimmy recognized him immediately.
Who was it?
Superman.
Oh, Lois, don't tell me you believe Superman really exists.
Well, I saw him with my own eyes. He seemed to know my name and Jimmy's name. In fact, he knew everything. If it hadn't been for him, both Jimmy and I would have swallowed some of the same tea that poisoned Mr. White.
I don't get the point of all this, Lois.
I'm coming to it. Superman suggested that Jimmy and I go back to the office.
He had a taxicab waiting for us outside Dr. Wan's house. We left him there alone with Dr. Wan.
I still don't understand.
He was alone with Dr. Wan. And the next thing, Dr. Wan's murdered.
Oh, but Lois, you don't think...
I'll tell you what I think. Superman knows who killed Dr. Wan.
Just jumping to conclusions, Lois.
Maybe I am, but I'm going to find out if it's the last thing I do. I'll spread this story across the front page. Listen, if Superman is half the man he's supposed to be, he'll step forward and tell all he knows.
Dumbfounded, Clark Kent stares at Lois. For the first time in his career, his double identity is in danger of being exposed. What will he do? Don't forget to tune in next time for another thrill-packed episode with Superman.
Tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky. Look,
it's a bird.
It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky. Look,
it's a bird.
It's a plane. It's Superman.
And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. The brutal murder of Dr. Chi Wan, famous Oriental scholar and art collector, has served to deepen the mystery surrounding the Dragon's Teeth, 10 pieces of ancient Chinese jade said to contain the secret of everlasting life. Recovered from an attempt to kill him with poison tea, editor Perry White of the Daily Planet is discussing the strange chain of events with Lois Lane, star reporter, in the privacy of his office. Listen.
I'll never forget it as long as I live, Lois. I was sitting opposite Chi Wan, no further away than you are. He looked at me, and there was something strange in his eyes. And then he said, "Before the next sun rises, I'll be dead." He was right.
But what were you and Clark Kent doing down there in the first place, Mr. White?
No, he telephoned me and said he had something important to discuss. Come in.
Oh, hello, Lois. You wanted to see me, Mr. White?
Yes, Ken. Come on in. Sit down.
Oh, you seem to have recovered from the ill effects of that poison tea, Mr. White.
Kent, how in heaven's name you ever got me to the hospital in time will always be a mystery.
Yes, that's another thing I wondered about. Dr. Wan said you both vanished into thin air.
No, wait a minute. We'll come to that later. Oh, Kent, I was telling Lois how poor Chi Wan called the turn on his own death.
Yes, he seemed to know it was coming.
But you still haven't told me what you two were doing at Dr. Wan's apartment. Why you went there. What happened? Well?
You tell her, Kent.
Well, here's the whole story, Lois. It seems that Dr. Wan had discovered an ancient Chinese manuscript that revealed a great medical secret.
The secret of everlasting life.
What?
The manuscript said that the 10 teeth of the sacred green dragon were each engraved with a symbol describing 10 medicinal herbs found in the mountains of western China.
Wait a minute. What's the sacred green dragon?
It was carved out of wood. They used it as an idol in a Chinese temple.
And its teeth were pieces of pure jade.
Oh. Go on.
Well, these 10 herbs, according to Dr. Wan's interpretation of the ancient manuscript, when ground into a powder, would render the human body free of disease.
Sounds like a pipe dream to me.
That's what I said.
Well, at any rate, Dr. Wan had found 9 of the dragon's teeth, and the man who owned the 10th, a jeweler named Walter Huffman, was trying to get them away from him. Dr. Wan feared for his life and wanted Mr. White to take the 9 pieces of jade in case anything happened to him.
That's when I took a drink of that poison tea and went out like a light.
That's right. Dr. Wan was out of the room at the time getting the jade, but Mr. White looked so sick I couldn't wait for him to return. So
I guess that's about where Jimmy and I came in. You see, I figured you were both out on a big story, so I followed you down to Chinatown with Jimmy.
You shouldn't have done that, Lois.
Well, maybe not, but I did. At any rate, we got to Dr. Wan's apartment after being chased up the steps. He told us you'd been there. He was completely baffled by your sudden disappearance. Then he offered us some tea. Both Jimmy and I were about to drink it when someone came crashing through the window and knocked the cups out of our hands. Now, you can laugh if you want to, but it was Superman.
You hear that, Kent? Lois says this Superman was dressed in a blue costume and a red cloak.
Yes, she told me.
What do you make of it?
It's a little hard to believe.
Kent, young Jimmy Olsen spoke to me a few hours ago. Swore that he'd seen Superman 3 or 4 times, down South America and out west. Have you ever seen him, Kent?
Who, me?
Yeah. You've been with Jimmy on all those trips.
No, I can't say I have, Mr. White.
Well, I saw him, and I'm not nearsighted. Not only that, but I'm convinced he was the last one to see Dr. Juan alive. We should make every effort to get him to come forward and tell his story.
Well, what do you think of that, Kent? Lois wants me to run a front-page appeal to this Superman, whoever he is.
Wait a minute. I have it here. Listen to it. An open letter to Superman. 3 days ago, the brilliant Chinese scholar, Dr. Chi Wan, was brutally murdered in his apartment. The Daily Planet has reason to believe that you, Superman, were the last person to see Dr. Wan alive. In the name of decency, we ask you to come forward and tell all you know.
How does that strike you, Kent?
Well, it doesn't, Mr. White.
Why not?
I don't know, but I don't think it'll do any good. I think the best bet is to question Walter Huffman.
Well, the police have already done that. They can't pin a thing on him.
Well, you must have a reason for not wanting Superman to come forward, Mr. Kent. What is it?
Reason? Why should I have a reason?
Oh, I don't know, but I wonder...
Well, the only thing is that if there's no such person as Superman, we'll be the laughingstock of the city. Wait a minute. I thought I heard someone at the door. Jimmy!
Jimmy Olsen. Now, what do you mean by eavesdropping at my office door?
Well, I didn't mean it.
What?
I mean, I couldn't help it.
Well, just what do you mean? Close the door, Kent.
Well, I heard you talking about Dr. Chi Wan and Superman. And, before I knew it, I was down on one knee listening through the keyhole. Listen, you're all wrong about Superman. He's as real as you are, Mr. White. Remember when we were out west with Comanche Joe, Mr. Kent? Didn't the Indians see him flying through the air, and didn't they call him the man who flies like a bird? Didn't they?
Yes, but...
And even before that, when we went down to South America to find that sunken gold ship, didn't Superman rescue me from that tunnel where those Spanish fellas locked me up? And didn't I talk to him?
Well, you said you did.
Well, I did. Well, Superman's real, all right. He's the strongest guy in the world. He can knock a hole in a brick wall and push over a locomotive.
That's enough.
But I tell
We're
you...
not paying you to make speeches.
But listen,
your
Mr.
job is
White...
to run copy. Now get back to work. Go on.
Yes, ma'am.
What?
I mean, yes, sir.
Go on. Get up. Get.
Poor kid, he's scared stiff.
Wait a minute, Kent. I want to think over this open letter to Superman that Lois wants me to run.
Are you really serious about running that, Chief?
Well, I'm not sure.
Well, do as you see fit. I'm going to investigate Walter Huffman. The police reported that Dr. Wan's 9 pieces of jade are missing. And it's my hunch that not only is Huffman responsible for Chi Wan's death, but that he now has all 10 dragon's teeth. So what's the use of running that open letter? Don't you agree with me, Chief?
No. Give me the press room.
But, now listen, Chief.
Fogarty, Mary White, save me a box on the front page. About 24 lines over 2 columns. Rip out whatever you've got there now.
Westray, Superman wanted in white a mystery. Westray, Superman wanted in white
Walter Huffman speaking.
A reporter from the Daily Planet would like to see you, Mr. Huffman.
The reporter?
Yes?
Send him in. The Daily Planet.
Mr. Huffman?
Come in, please.
Thank you.
What can I do for you, young man?
Well, my name is Clark Kent, Mr. Huffman. I'm with the Daily Planet.
Yes?
The editorial staff is presenting a gift to one of our women employees who is about to be married.
Yes?
We thought a jade necklace might be a nice gift, and since I understand you deal in jade, I came to you first.
You understand I deal in jade?
Well, yes. Don't you?
Sometimes, Mr. Kent. Sometimes I deal in other things.
Well, do you have some jade on hand?
No, Mr. Kent. I have no jade.
None at all?
None at all.
Oh. Well, that's too bad.
Yes, Mr. Kent, it is too bad. You work for the Daily Planet?
Yes, I'm a reporter.
Then you have seen this paper.
Huh? Oh, that. Oh, that's not in my department.
I see. Not in your department?
No.
You know this Superman?
Do I know him? No, I don't.
Somebody on your paper knows him.
Well, that I couldn't say.
You couldn't say?
No.
Of course, you are aware that Chi Wan was my friend? That the police questioned me about his untimely death?
I read that in the paper.
Yes, of course.
Well, now, about the jade, Mr. Huffman...
I'm sorry, but I have no jade. Perhaps some other time, Mr. Kent. Thank you for calling.
Well,
Good day.
Yes, goodbye.
Fooling. Huffman, come up at once. I need you for something very important. Very important.
Mr. White, Mr. White.
Right here.
Telegram, Mr. White.
Yeah, let me have it. Great Scott.
What is it?
Get Clark Clinton and Lois Lane. Tell them I want him here in my office at once.
Yes, sir. I'll get him.
This is the most amazing thing I've ever heard of. What a story it'll make. Give me the press room. Story of the year. Hello, Fogarty. Perry White. I want the front page of tomorrow's first edition kept wide open until you hear from me. Right.
Kenny said you wanted to see me, Mr. White.
Where's Kent?
Well, he left the office about an hour ago. Hasn't come back.
Well, here, read this. Just came in.
Yes. Editor, Daily Planet. I am willing to tell my story about Chi Wan's murder, but for reasons which you should understand, I cannot come to you. You must come to me. I will meet you in the Carson Mansion tonight at 8. The door will be open. Walk in. Sign, Superman. Good heavens, Mr. White.
The Carson Mansion's about 5 miles out of town. We can't wait for Kent. It's 7:30 now. Do you want to go along with me?
Do I? I should say so.
Okay, get your hat and coat. We haven't much time. That's the place up ahead. Used to be owned by Carson, the millionaire rubber man. Been deserted for 5 years. I guess we turn in here.
Gee, it certainly is lonesome looking, all boarded up.
Yeah. Come on. Let's go right on up to the door.
Gee, certainly picked a lonely place to meet us. Didn't the telegram say the door would be open?
Huh? Oh, yes. Well, it is. Follow me, Lois.
Mr. White, I don't like it in here. What's that?
A bell. Tolling the hour. It's just 8.
Mr. White, do you think that wire really was from Superman? Do you think he's here?
Is Superman waiting for them in the deserted mansion? Or is someone else lurking in the darkness? Don't forget to tune in next time and follow the thrilling story of The Dragon's Teeth.
Tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky. Look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
And now, Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Stand by to raise ship. Blast off. -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Freighter Leo, piloted by Tom Corbett and Roger Manning, is nearing its destination, the planet Venus. Its cargo is the personnel and equipment of Wilberforce's worldwide circus, on the first interplanetary hop ever made by any Earth circus. The trip, supposed to be uneventful, has been enlivened by the escape in mid-space of the lions and tigers of Princess Marge's Wild Animal Act. Fortunately, the cadets, with the assistance of Marge, managed to get the animals back, only to discover that the escape was no accident, but an act of sabotage. Now, as the boys prepare for the landing on Venus, they double-check all their instruments to make certain their unknown enemy is not trying to strike again.
Cooling pumps, energized. Teleceiver, scanning. Fuel system, in order. How about the braking rockets? Instruments show they're ready, but that's one thing we're not going to know for sure until we hit them.
It won't be long. There's Venus and the teleceiver screen now.
Yeah. If the unknown cat fancier is going to pull anything else, he better get started.
Just so he doesn't let our pussycats out of their cages again. You checked the cages, didn't you, Roger?
You know I did. All secure.
Hold it, Roger.
Someone wants in on the control deck.
Sounds like it.
Maybe it's the cat lover.
I don't know. Got your parallel right?
Right.
Then I'll open the hatch.
It's about time.
Marge.
Princess.
These are the darndest things to open. I had to struggle through 3 of them to get here.
Anything wrong?
Why, no, but aren't we getting close to Venus?
Honey, I've been close to Venus during this entire trip.
Flattery will get you no place, Roger. Not that I don't like it, but just now...
Just now, you look more beautiful than ever. Beautiful.
Tom, how do you deal with this space monkey?
I don't have to, Princess. He never tells me such nice things.
Will you two be serious for a moment?
I was never more serious in my life.
Roger?
Hey, put down that wrench.
I will as soon as I get a sensible answer.
Sorry, Princess. What is it?
Do we have to make any special preparations for landing the animals as we did on the takeoff?
Oh, no. Don't worry. This is quite different.
Approaching landing range now, Tom.
Check.
Oh, if I'm in the way,
No, it's all right. Ready, Roger?
Yeah.
Stand by.
Right.
What's happening?
A rocket has to come in for a landing backwards. So we're turning over in space.
All reverse.
Right. Prepare to hit main rockets.
What altitude you going to hit them?
60,000 feet. I'll toll it off.
That sounds like...
Wind. We're entering Venus atmosphere. The sound will increase as the air grows denser. 140,000, Roger.
Ready.
120,000. 100. 90. 80. 70,000. Hit them!
What now?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Marja, you are now on the surface of the planet that was named in honor of beautiful women like you.
We've landed on Venus?
We have. And when the cargo's unloaded, the personnel disembarked, and the tents set up, Colonel Wilberforce may proceed with the first performance of not the greatest show on Earth, but the greatest show in the universe! It's wonderful, boys, wonderful. A dream has become a reality. Here I sit, Colonel Roscoe Wilberforce, drinking coffee on the planet of Venus, sheltered by my own mess tent, while my circus springs up around me.
Didn't you expect to get here, Colonel?
Of course, my boy, of course. But to see the vision made reality, the dream accomplished, the workings of my mind translated into this pioneering establishment. Oh, which reminds me, I must personally commend you to Commander Arkwright, both of you.
Well, that won't be necessary, Colonel. Don't be so noble, Junior. I can use a commendation.
Oh, doesn't everybody love you, Roger?
Everybody doesn't matter, Marja, as long as you do.
That's my boy. He never gives up.
Well, he'd better give up now. I've got to go check the animals.
Oh, why not leave that to Vance Spraymore? He'll see they're properly bedded down.
I'd like to see to him myself. After all, I'm the one who goes into the cages with him.
Suit yourself, my dear.
How about me coming along?
Stay put, Roger. I've always found it easier to handle 20 cats than one wolf, particularly of the two-legged variety.
Quite a fire, aren't you devils? Go on, keep whimpering. It's going to get a lot hotter before it gets cooler.
Vance!
What the...
Vance Traymore! Vance, are you crazy? Fire! Easy, baby. Easy. The water bucket. Where? Here.
Put down that bucket. I said put it down.
Are you crazy? The whole circus will go up in flames.
That's the idea, Marja.
What?
Too bad you had to show up now. Not on your life, Princess. I'll take care of you. It's one fire that nobody's going to put out. And when it's over, the greatest show in the universe will be only a grease spot on the surface of Venus.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
Spaceman, put yourself in Tom Corbett's place. Suppose you were out on the frozen wastes of Pluto. Suppose you were scouting the dark side of Mercury in a jet boat. Well, you'd make sure you were protected against the elements. You'd make sure that you could see what was going on every second. That's why space goggles were designed and issued to every space cadet. The very same official space goggles that are waiting for you right now at Space Academy Supply Headquarters. Now, these aren't ordinary goggles. No, sir, not by a long shot. These are futuristic. These space goggles are made of one sweeping clear plastic shell, a curved shell that fits over both eyes at the same time. Now, they protect your eyes when you're working with tools and shield you whenever you're racing into the wind. Supply Headquarters has them all ready for you. All you have to do is just put in your order. Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, the cereal with that swell whole wheat and malt flavor, will take care of the rest. Now, write down these official instructions. Send one Kellogg's Pep box top, 25 cents, your name and address. Repeat, 25 cents, one Kellogg's Pep box top, your name and address. Send that to Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. That's it, spaceman, so hop to it. Send for your official space goggles today.
Tom Corbett and Roger Manning have successfully transported the first Earth circus to Venus. Now in the mess tent, talking with Colonel Wilberforce, the circus owner, they are awaiting the return of Princess Marja, who has gone to the menagerie tent to see how her animals are acclimating themselves to the strange conditions of another planet.
Well, I certainly hope nothing else happens now. I'll go along with that. We've had enough excitement on this one.
Have no fear, my boys, have no fear. What could possibly happen now?
Out of this menagerie tent. These cages are too heavy. Maybe on Earth, but not here on Venus. What? The gravity here isn't quite as great as on Earth. How many men did it take to move them down there? 4 or 5? Well, then 3 teams of men could do it, Tom. Right. You organize the roustabouts into crews. I'll send back to the space freighter for our fire equipment. No time for that. It'll spread too fast. We've got a chance. The oxygen content of the air on Venus is lower than on Earth. It will slow up the spread of the flames. If we work fast, we may get it under control. Well, she's beaten.
Thank heaven.
Not much tent left, though. But every one of the animals is safe. You got all the cages out in time? Yeah.
Are any of them injured? Burned?
Frankly, Colonel, I don't know. And crawling into a cage to find out is not in my line.
But did you see Vance Traymore? I'll have him checked.
No, I didn't see him. Hey, wait a minute. What about Marcia? Blast my jets, I forgot about her.
Good heavens. You don't think she and Traymore were in the tent?
Oh, no, they couldn't have been her. Or could they? We'll never find out standing here. Come on, Junior. Let's start searching. Anything, Roger?
No.
Well, that's a relief. She wasn't trapped in the fire.
But where is she?
I'm no fortune teller, Roger. Tom, I may be space happy, but I can't scan this setup. The way she loved those cats, she'd have been at the fire the moment she saw it. I know. She's either been hurt or what? Well, let's not think about it. Better just keep looking. Tom!
What is it?
Over here!
What?
Look. A woman's purse. That's Marge's. I saw her take makeup out of it. And look at the vegetation around here. All broken, stamped on. Looks like a fight. You can see footprints in the soft soil. Yeah, 2 sets. Those little prints. Marge's? Maybe. But who belongs to the others? There's only one way to find out. Follow them.
All right, Marge, you're inside.
This jet boat? Why?
Don't argue. Just get in or I'll have to get tough again. Well, that's smart. Now we got a nice, cozy place to talk and still be all set for a fast getaway if necessary.
What have we got to talk about?
Don't you like conversation?
Like to understand what you're doing. Why you're doing it.
Let's say I'm an ambitious guy.
Ambitious? For what?
My own show. I'd go a long way to get that.
Like burning down the menagerie tent?
And further. You know, at first I was sorry you came along when you did, but maybe it isn't so bad.
And how do you figure that out?
You're a big act, Marja. The star of Wilberforce's show.
Thank you.
Only now you've got no circus to be star of.
But Vance, the Colonel will be...
Ruined. He staked his bankroll on this space junket. Right now, his show isn't worth its weight in cosmic clinkers. That goes for your job.
You've lost your job, too, remember?
Yeah. But I picked up a half share in another circus doing it.
Another circus?
Yeah, the Dimitro show.
Dimitro. So that's the slimy snake who put you up to this, huh?
But I named my own price. Be smart, Margie, and you can name yours.
No, thanks.
Don't be hasty. Don't make any snap decisions.
When you work with a big cat, Vance, you learn to make fast decisions. And make them right, otherwise you don't last long.
The same thing goes here. There's only one alternative to joining up with me.
And, that is?
Death, Marja. I can't risk your testifying as to who started that fire.
In other words, I've got to play it your way.
In any words.
Suppose I do agree. I can always hold my knowledge over your head.
You underestimate me, Marja. I can take care of that any time. And speaking of time, you've only got a little of it left to make up your mind.
You realize where this trail is leading us to, Tom? To the spaceport, if I've got my bearings right. You have. Why should anyone be heading that way? There's no rockets taking off tonight. Maybe not, but it'll be tough to sneak up on anyone there because of open spaces to cross and nothing to take shelter behind. We'd be sitting ducks for anyone with a ray gun. That's right. When we get there, take advantage of every bit of cover you can find, every shadow. Don't worry, Junior. I'm not anxious to be a target. Watch it. We're coming to the last of the brush now. And look. There go the footprints right across the spaceport.
Straight for the jet boats over there.
Come on, let's go.
Not that way. We've got to circle around, Roger. I've got a hunch that this is one time when the straight and narrow path leads right to destruction. Looks like the end of the line, Roger.
It's a cinch she went into this jet boat.
And not by herself, either. Remember those other footprints?
Why do you think I've got my parallel ray handy?
Great. But that isn't going to get us into the jet.
Got any ideas?
Well, with an ultra-frequency torch, we could cut the lockout and be inside in less than a minute.
Good. I'll get one from the space freighter.
Watch it, Roger. Oh, my gosh.
You think they heard?
Yeah, and how?
That's Margaret.
I know.
No point in secrecy anymore. Come on, let's try to break in.
Okay, Roger, we'll...
Listen, great galaxy, he's going to blast off.
Then we'd better get away from here fast. His rocket exhaust could fry us to a crisp.
Right, start running.
Watch it, Roger. There's his blast.
Hit the dirt.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
Spacemen, your own official space goggles are now waiting for you at Space Academy Supply Headquarters. These are the very same space goggles worn by Tom Corbett and all the other cadets. Now, Kellogg's Pep, the cereal with that swell whole wheat and malt flavor, makes it possible for you to get these official goggles. You'll thrill to the advanced design, just like Tom Corbett did when he got his set. Here's a telerecorder message from him to tell you all about it.
Spaceman, that's right. These new space goggles are really something. You see, space goggles are made of one sweeping, curved plastic shield that covers both eyes at the same time. They can even be worn over regular glasses. And many's the time they've helped me out when I've been in a tough spot. You'll want to wear space goggles every time you're on your bike or skates. They'll protect your eyes from the wind. It's a good idea to wear them when you're working with tools, too. So let's go, spaceman. Send for your space goggles right away. End transmission.
Thanks, Tom. Spacemen, to get your official space goggles, send 25 cents, one Kellogg's Pep box top, your name and address. Better write that down. 25 cents, one Kellogg's Pep box top, your name and address. Send to this address. Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. That's all you do, spaceman. So send for your official space goggles today.
Princess Margia, star of the Wilberforce Circus, has been abducted by Vance Tremor after seeing him start a fire in the menagerie tent. Tom and Roger, having directed a successful firefighting job, follow the princess's footprints from the circus lot to the spaceport, where she is being held in a jet boat. But before they can break in, Tremor blasts off, and the boys run for their lives to escape the fury of his rocket exhaust. Now, as the jet boat heads skyward, two prone figures lie motionless on the spaceport.
Roger, are you still kicking, Junior?
All right.
Just about. The heat from that rocket practically melted the fillings in my teeth. Well, what do we do now?
Go after them in the other jet boat. You handle the radar scanner, and I'll handle the controls, and both of us pray.
Can't you get any more out of her, Tom?
She's taking all she can, and my cooling pumps are working their limit.
Well, I'm getting nothing on the scanner.
Relax, Roger. You got a good start on us.
Relax. That's what I like. Real useful advice I could...
Hey, you got him on the scanner?
Yeah. I'm tracking him now.
Sounds like we're gaining on him.
You bet we are. The image on the scanner keeps getting bigger as the beeps come faster.
That must be really a slow jet boat.
Yeah, we ought to be close enough soon so you can see him through the viewport.
You're right. There it is.
Lumbering through space like an old cow. But isn't there one small thing you haven't figured, Tom?
What?
How do we get Margie and whoever's with her out of there?
Just keep following. He'll have to land eventually.
Not before we do. Look at our fuel gauge.
Uh-oh.
These fast babies always eat up the fuel. He can probably maneuver 3 times longer than we can.
I guess you're right.
So where are we? With Margie in there, we can't shoot him down.
No, but we can force him to descend.
Huh?
You willing to take a chance, Roger?
On what?
Well, we're out beyond atmosphere now. If we rammed him...
But Margie's
I don't mean to smash him. Just hit hard enough to make a small hole in the boat. Leave him with a slow oxygen leak.
That'll take some fancy maneuvering, Junior.
Maybe, but it's the only thing I can think of.
Okay, let's try.
I'll stay here at the viewport with me. I'll need 2 pairs of eyes for this job.
Right. Accelerate, Tom.
How am I doing?
So far, fine. Your line of approach is perfect.
Bearing 0?
Right as you are. Set with your braking rockets?
All set.
You'll have to blast them practically the same instant you hit, so you can pull back before you go clean through that jet scow.
I'm ready.
When we get within 5 seconds, I'll toll off the distance.
Right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Take those brakes. We're clear.
Did we ram too hard?
No, Tom. Beautiful. A hole the size of a basketball.
I was afraid.
The oxygen leak's beginning to register. He's going down. Get on his tail.
All right, I'll stay with him if I have to land right on his back or our own.
Nice going, Tom. We can set down close beside him.
You get ready to jump out the minute we land.
All set. Come on, Tom.
Right. With you.
Stand back. Try to take me and the princess dive.
Vance Tremor, so it was you.
Don't let him bluff you, Tom.
Bluff, eh? What do you think this is jammed into your back, princess?
My parallel ray will fix him.
Roger's got a heat gun.
Right, and my other arm's around his throat. It guarantees I won't miss.
You can't get away with this, Tremor.
You want to bet any credits on that space boy? All right, Marcia, start backing up.
Where are you taking me?
We're taking over that jet boat. Stand away from the entrance hatch, you two.
If you didn't have that arm around her neck, I'd take a chance
Not
on...
I have. Now, come on, Marcia, back up.
Suppose instead I fight.
Oh!
Come on, Roger.
Right with you.
Princess, out of the way.
Right, Tom. I'll get him with my parallel ray.
Nothing doing.
Ooh!
What a suck.
Just as effective as a parallel ray and a lot more satisfying.
Are you all right, Princess?
I guess so.
Oh, you poor baby. Come here and let me put my arms around
Oh,
you.
look, Roger, just now I'm allergic to clinches from anybody.
Well, I just thought a little tenderness might help calm your nerves. Bring a little peace and quiet.
Peace and quiet is what I need, all right. And I'm going to get it as soon as you take me back to the circus lot. After this space raid, I'm heading for the safest, calmest place I know. Right in the middle of the cage with 20 big, lovely loving cats all around me.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure of Tom Corbett and the Space Cadets on Tuesday, when they face revolt and a desperate struggle with the most dangerous criminals in the universe at Prison Rock. Tune in, same time, same station for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the Build-Up Wheat Cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast were Jan Merlin, John Griggs, Leon Janney, and Connie Lemke. Today's program was written by Palmer Thompson and directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Raisins and Bran Flakes, too. They're out of this world. They're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Kellogg's raisins are honeycomb coated to keep them tender. The Bran Flakes crisper. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Raisins and Bran Flakes, too. They're out of this world. They're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight we escape to the interior of China and the story of a gentleman gambler from Virginia, matching wits with a murderous warlord whose word can mean life or death. As Ahmed Abdullah tells it in his famous story, The Ambassador of Poker.
Very good. Here he is, sir.
Captain, I demand to know the meaning of this. This sailor has forced me to pack my baggage, vacate my cabin, and come here.
He did it on my orders, Mr. Fairbairn. You are leaving this ship.
Leave it? But you're mistaken, sir. This is only Hong Kong. My passage is paid to Singapore.
In this envelope, you will find the refund of the remainder of your passage. It comes to $43, I believe. Good day to you.
Well, you can't do this. I demand an explanation.
I shall give it to you in a word. Poker. There is not a man aboard, officer or crewman, who has not lost every cent he had to you.
You're implying that I play dishonestly? That I cheat?
Let's just say that you win, too, consistently.
Sir, I am Randolph C. Fairbairn of Charlottesville, Virginia, sir. A Southern gentleman. I have never cheated at cards in my life, and I never will. Here in my wallet is all of the money I won on this voyage. Some $324, I think. Take it. You may distribute it among the men. You will, I presume, allow me to keep the $20 bill that I had when I came aboard.
I cannot accept this money back, Mr. Fairbairn, but...
Then throw it overboard. Here, allow me.
No. Wait, I'll take it. I'll return it to the men.
Thank you. Now, if you will pardon me.
Mr. Fairbairn, perhaps I have misjudged you. If so, I'm deeply sorry.
Your apology is accepted.
But you must admit your winning all the time is...
That is my good fortune, sir, and my curse. I simply cannot lose.
Perhaps if you would agree not to play poker, perhaps you could stay on board to Singapore.
No, sir, I do not stay where I am not wanted.
But you haven't much money. How will you get along in Hong Kong? What will you do?
Why, I expect something will turn up. If not, I will play poker.
On the Hong Kong waterfront?
Certainly.
Well, sir, if you play and if you insist upon winning...
I can't help winning.
Then, Mr. Fairbairn, I should advise you to be prepared for a great deal of trouble. I should advise you to slip a gun in your pocket alongside your rabbit's foot.
Mr. Fairbairn, are you staying on another week?
Why, yes, I believe I will.
Oh, well then, sir, we shall have to have payment for the room in advance.
Oh, yes, I'll take care of that tonight. Right now I have something important. By the way, do you know where I might find a poker game?
Poker? Oh, no, sir, not in this hotel.
Poker? Yes, sir. If you don't value your life too highly. On the waterfront, Pearl Dock Street, down the alley of the Heavenly Fish, the Black Dragon in the back room.
You are bluffing. I call you.
3 lovely ladies. Well, mon ami, you are unlucky tonight.
You wait. Just you wait. All right. Deal the cards.
Gentlemen, I beg your pardon.
Who is this one?
What is it, young fella?
I wonder if I might sit in this game, if you don't mind.
What?
Regardez, you're just a boy. Why, of course, old chap, of course. Happy to have you. Won't you sit down, Mr.
Fairbairn. Randolph C. Fairbairn of Charlottesville, Virginia.
Well, sit down, Mr. Fairbairn. This is Frenchy Frenchy, Van Alkemade, Rangoon George, the Croker, and well, you just call me Skip.
How do you do, gentlemen?
Always happy to see a new face in the game.
Yeah. How many chips do you want?
Why, $17.64 worth as a starter. There.
Is that all you have?
I'm afraid it is. For the moment, at least.
Oh. Well...
I don't think I'll need any more.
Me? I love the innocence of the very young. Deal, mon petit.
Raise you 5.
Very well. Call.
3 aces.
Sorry. Full house. 9s over 4. I'll play these, gentlemen.
Mon Dieu. Another pattern.
Check to you.
No, not to me, old fellow. I'm out.
Moi aussi. It's all yours, monsieur, unless...
No.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Hey, wait a minute. You get out.
I beg your pardon?
I said get out. This joke has gone far enough.
Joke? I don't understand.
Get out.
Don't worry, sir. I don't care to stay where people don't want me. Here, cash my chips, and I'll move along, gentlemen.
What?
Cash your blinking chips, did you say, young fella?
Why, yes, sir.
Oh, to the devil with you. Beat it while you can still walk.
Gentlemen, I must insist upon my money.
You what?
I am an extremely nervous man. I do not like to fight, but...
Out! Get out before I...
I'm sorry, sir, but I warned you. Though I don't like fighting, my mother insisted that I study boxing.
Let me at him. I'll kill him. I'll kill him.
Sorry, gentlemen. I dislike using the gun, but I had no choice. You may get up, sir. You are uninjured. I merely shot into the ceiling. And now, if you will be good enough to cash my chips, I can be on my way.
$84, $85, and 20 cents. That's it to the penny.
Thank you, gentlemen. Now, if you will remain facing me with your hands up until I have left the room...
Be careful with that thing.
There is very little danger. I'm really a very indifferent marksman. Who's that?
There is no need to fear this humble one, sir. Good evening. I watched a little scene you enacted just now, Mr...
Fairbairn, sir. Randolph C. Fairbairn of Charlottesville, Virginia, sir.
Of course. The Virginian. All of you, go.
Well, you certainly have that pack of rats under your thumb. A wave of your hand, and they are gone like magic.
Not magic, my friend. The power of money. That is more practical. Besides, I own this place. So, you are Virginian?
Yes, sir, an unworthy son of that great and noble Commonwealth.
Oh, I am delighted. My late partner was Virginian. I am Shangpao of Jones and Shangpao Importers. Pardon inquisitiveness, but would you care to go to work?
Well, I am not a businessman, and I don't speak Chinese.
No matter. You are gentleman and fighting man.
Oh, not a fighting man. No, you're mistaken.
No matter. I need man like you, and it will be worth a great deal of money to you.
How much?
$5,000.
But for what? What is the job?
To recover for me a fortune from the interior of China, an object no bigger than your hand, weighing less than 4 ounces. The British Museum has offered £10,000. Your own Metropolitan Museum will gladly pay $50,000. Private collectors, more, much more.
Well, why? What is it?
Is thin gold wafer, on which is impressed only imprint known of Great Seal of Yin Dynasty, 3,000 years ago, is priceless relic. And it was, and legally still is, property of Jones and Shenpao. It will be your job to return it to me by whatever means you are able.
But from where? Who has it now?
You have heard of General Kung?
No.
Notorious bandit, now puppet ruler of Namyung? On some pretext, he confiscated seal from my partner. Jones died while trying to recover it of typhus, so it was said.
Too bad. Well, how am I to get the seal from him?
Perhaps way will suggest itself when I tell you that General Kung also liked to play poker.
Aha. So that's why you picked me.
Perhaps. You will do it?
Well, I'll go a long way for a game of poker.
Excellent. I shall arrange for you forged document, safe contact pass. Also reliable Chinese guide. You must be careful. Watch out for a beautiful young lady with red hair like sun. She is perhaps after seal also.
Huh? Who is she?
I do not know. But I do know she is dangerous. Also, young Mr. Fairbairn, let me say this to you. Though you do not like fighting, this is China, not Virginia. If you get chance to slit throat of General Kung, do so promptly before he does same to you.
In just a moment, we will return you to the second act of Escape. But first, on CBS's Gene Autry Show this Saturday night, you'll hear how Easter is celebrated in the West. The King of the Cowboys will bring you a sketch about a young Western minister whose Easter sermon helps to solve a mystery. And Gene will also be singing some special holiday songs. Vaughn Monroe will be around this Saturday with some of his famous music making, so be listening for them both, Gene Autry and Vaughn Monroe, on most of these same CBS stations. And now for the second act of Escape, and the story of Randolph C. Fairbairn, the ambassador of poker.
Is this the place, Mao Tzu?
Hello, General Chung. Take hotel, chase people away.
Oh, he confiscated that, too. All right, let's go. What's this?
God say we no can go inside.
Tell him I want to see the general, Mao Tzu. What did he say?
He say no like American here.
Tell him I'm an ambassador from Virginia.
佢係美國大使 Virginia。
無論佢喺邊處嚟都好，佢現在非常之唔得閒啊！你哋快脆啲走開啦，唔係我拉入你啊！
What did he say?
He say no.
Tell him I'm an ambassador of poker. Tell him to tell the general that.
Did you say poker, Mr. Fairbairn?
I did, sir. Would you care to have a game?
Come in. In here, Mr. Fairbairn.
Thank you.
I have cards and chips. And excuse me. This is Miss Grushenka, Mr. Fairbairn.
How do you do?
Wow. I hadn't expected to find such a lovely lady.
Spasiba. You are gallant.
Oh, it's an old Virginia custom, madam.
Oh, you American. You will excuse me, perhaps.
Oh, don't leave.
Of course, my blossom. You may go now.
Da. Do svidania.
Goodbye, miss. It was a pleasure to...
Now, Mr. Fairbairn.
I'm sorry. I hope I haven't interrupted anything.
It is nothing. Only a woman. Sit down.
But a very beautiful one, with lovely red hair.
Still a woman. I have not played poker for many moons. Cut for deal?
And the stakes?
Shall we say 100 a tip?
$100? All right. Three aces. Enough?
Deal.
Full house. Enough?
Deal again.
King high straight. Enough?
Another.
Heart flush.
All right. That is enough. You play poker very well, Mr. Fairbank.
I can usually win when I want to.
You put me in embarrassing position. You have wiped out Treasury. Now I must collect another tax. And last one was only last week.
That won't be necessary, General. I think we can make a deal.
What kind of deal?
Instead of the money, I'll take the yin seal for payment.
So, now I understand. You cannot be that naive, Mr. Fairbank.
I played the game in good faith, sir. I demand that
You demand nothing, American pig. You will think over your stupidity in my prison. 拉佢落個樓下鎖住佢，唔好俾人見佢。得咯，得咯。
將軍唔准我哋入去咯。
It's quite all right, I tell you. General Kung has given me his permission.
真個好唔得咯。
Dolja. Oh, hello, Mr. Fairbairn.
Well, hello. Nice of you to come and see me.
If I get you out of here, will you help me?
What happened to your Russian accent?
Will you?
Well, yeah. Of course, it wasn't a good accent anyway. Unless I'm crazy, you're from Virginia, too.
That doesn't matter now. We've got to get out of here.
We? Well, I thought you and the General were friends.
Not at all. I was living in the hotel here when he took it over. He won't let me leave.
You could just walk out.
How? He confiscated my credentials, keeps me almost a prisoner, refuses me a safe conduct pass.
So you want mine?
Well, why not? You can add "and wife" to it. Something like that. There wouldn't be any trouble.
Well, if I'm to have a beautiful wife, I think I should at least know her name.
It's Susan Jones.
That begins to fit. Susan Jones, daughter of the American partner of Jones and Shang Pao. And you're after the yin seal, too.
How did you know?
Never mind. But why did Shang Pao say that you were dangerous?
Because he's after the seal for himself. And it belongs to me. It was my father's, not the company's. He's trying to steal it from me.
Or you from him.
Honestly, Mr. Fairburn.
Never mind. Where is the seal? Can we get it?
Easily. He keeps it in a strong box in his hotel room. He showed it to me. Oh, I could have got it long ago, but I couldn't have gotten away.
All right, now, how do we get out of here?
Would this help?
What? My gun. Definitely. Now...
If I were to call the guardian...
And I would... Yes, you're a very practical girl.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Bing Jai! Bing Jai!
嚟咯！乜嘢事幹啊？
快啲！
乜嘢事幹啊？你叫我做乜啊？你問我。
Sorry, old boy. All right, Miss Jones. Lead the way. What's the matter?
He's in there. We'll have to do something.
What?
You leave it to me. You be ready when his back is turned.
Miss Jones, I don't think I should let you, a young lady from Virginia.
It's Grushenka.
Ah, my blossom. Come in. So, at last, you come to me, my sweet one.
Daragoy.
Come to my...
Good heavens, what did you do to him?
Simple. A judo trick. My father insisted I learn judo.
Did you kill him?
No. But he'll be asleep for a couple of hours. Long enough for us to get the seal and get out of here.
You back so soon, Master?
Come on, Mao Tzu. We've got the seal. Let's go.
How are we going to travel?
We'll use this car.
That's General Kung.
So I see. And that's his chauffeur, no doubt. You two get ready to jump in. I'm going to say hello to him. Oh, I say, old man, how are you? Let me shake your hand. That's it. Okay, let's go. We're going to have to get rid of this car soon. Mauser, what's this village up ahead?
Kingpin.
Can we get a train there?
Oh, yes. Little train, sometime.
All right. Mauser, you get rid of the car. We'll see about the train. Bad luck. No trains until morning. We'll have to stay here overnight.
There's a little inn over there.
Not exactly the kind of place I'd usually take a girl from Virginia, but the only trouble is Mao Tzu isn't back and I can't speak Chinese. How do you say 2 single rooms?
I can speak enough for that. Come on.
Yes? Who is it?
It's me, Susan.
Oh, just a minute. Hello.
May I come in?
Sure.
Here. I thought we really should have a drink. Sort of a toast to our escape.
Well, what is it?
Oh, some special kind of Chinese wine. The proprietor says it's very good.
I really don't think we should celebrate just yet.
Well, of course, if I'm repulsive to you.
Oh, no, nothing like that. You're...
Beautiful. Of course. So shall we drink to my beauty?
Yeah, to your beauty.
Oh, such a little sip. I'm more beautiful than that.
Oh, yeah.
Down the hatch. There, now, that's a big boy.
That wasn't bad. Not bad at all. Didn't know the Chinese made wine like that. You have more?
That'll be enough.
Well, what do you mean?
In about 2 minutes, you'll be fast asleep.
Asleep?
Some of these Chinese wines are interesting. Special. Something like a Mickey. I don't think you'll be terribly sick, though, when you wake up.
Susan, what is this?
Simple, dear. I can buy a lot of negligees like this one with that $50,000, and I don't intend to share it with Sheng Pao any more than he does with me. So, well, I really hate to trouble you, Lamb, but I need the seal, your safe conduct pass, and your gun.
Susan, you're a...
No names, Lammy. It isn't chivalrous. And you're a Virginia gentleman, remember?
Susan.
I'll leave you the cards, dear, so you can play solitaire. Bye-bye. Pleasant dreams.
Why, you... Oh, my head. How long has she been gone, Mao Tzu?
For 5 hours.
That's enough. We can't catch her now.
I think maybe yes.
How?
She take first train. It's slow train. We take next train. It's fast train. We catch her before she get to Hong Kong.
Good boy, Mao Tzu. Let's go. Miss Jones, I believe.
Oh, Randall.
Sorry to startle you, my dear. No, don't reach. I'll just take your bag. I suppose the seal and my gun and my safe conduct pass are inside. Thank you.
Oh, Randolph, honestly, I'm so glad to see you. I've been hating myself for what I did to you.
You have?
Oh, yes. I really like you, Randolph. I wouldn't have done it except I needed the seal. You know, a little old girl like me alone in the world. I am alone, you know, Randolph. And the seal was my only inheritance from my daddy. Mm-hmm. I'd be penniless without it. You wouldn't want that, would you, Randolph?
You wring my heart, Miss Jones.
All right. I suppose it's just as well, really. This way, at least, I won't be a criminal.
What do you mean?
It's you who'll be the criminal, you and Sheng Pao. Well, what are you going to do about it?
I don't know. I'll have to think.
Well, think fast. We'll be in Hong Kong in an hour. Well, Randolph, what are you going to do?
Come on. Let's get out of the station, then we can...
Greetings, old chap.
Just stand where you are.
And you too, mademoiselle.
Randolph, who are these men?
Some old friends. And this time I'm afraid they're prepared. I can feel their preparation in the small of my back.
Yeah, so march.
I'll bet you could have found a dirtier, smellier back room to bring us to.
Shut up.
They haven't got it.
He must have.
I tell you I've searched. They haven't got it.
Come on. Tell us, where is it?
Who are you working for, General Kung?
Where did you put it?
Put what, gentlemen?
You know all right, the seal.
I don't know. Maybe I lost it.
Wait. Save it until the boss gets here. He'll know how to make them talk. Trust the Chinese.
Yeah, but it may be ours.
Well, there is cards. Why not play while we are waiting?
Well, that's an idea. Why not? You deal, Frenchy.
Randolph, darling, if General Kung...
Don't worry. I'll think of something.
I know you will. You're wonderful. But just in case, I want you to know I am sorry for what I did.
Hey, you kissed me.
Yes. Did you like it?
Yes, only done it. My hands are tied. But I've got an idea. Just a minute.
All right, deal, my Frenchy.
What's the matter? Afraid to let me play with you? Afraid I'll beat you again?
Well, what do you say, chaps?
Why not? Yes, money. Our money.
I'll untie him. Raise.
Call.
3 tens.
3 aces.
3 aces.
4 deuces.
4 kings.
Straight flush.
Straight flush.
Royal flush.
Oh, he's cheating. He must be. I'll kill him. I'll kill him.
Darling, you knocked them all out.
Uh-huh. What a mess. My cards all over the room.
Leave them. Let's get out of here. Listen, somebody's coming. Maybe it's the general. Hurry.
Just a minute. I've got to find... there. All right, let's go.
Good evening. Not leaving so soon?
Oh, Sheng Pao. So Mao Tzu found you. A good thing I sent him off to... But wait a minute. How did you know where to find us?
Perhaps if we will go back into...
No, wait a minute. We want to talk to you.
There is no need for me to talk to Miss Jones or to you. You are through. Just hand over the yin seal.
Randolph, he's got a gun.
So you are a double-crosser.
Randolph! There. Goodbye to Hong Kong.
Yes. Goodbye forever.
It will be good to see Virginia again, won't it, darling?
Yes. Although I left under something of a cloud, I suppose they'll give a married man a new chance.
No doubt of it, especially since he's reformed. Lammy, you've never told me, and I haven't asked you, but whatever you did with that seal, I'm glad we don't have it. It would have been wrong to start our married life with dishonesty like that.
Susan...
And now that you are married, there'll be no more fighting, and that means no more poker. And because it's a symbol of the old life, I brought up your pack of cards, and here's an end to it.
No, wait! Susan!
Why, Lammy, what is it? What's the matter? Well, I only threw your old pack of cards overboard. If it means that much, you can always get a new pack.
But you don't understand. In that pack of cards, concealed in the lining of the box, was the yin seal. You've just thrown $50,000 into the ocean.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. Tonight we have presented The Ambassador of Poker by Ahmed Abdullah, adapted for radio by John Dunkel. Featured in the cast were Elliot Reed as Randolph C. Fairburn, Lucille Meredith as Susan Jones, Ben Wright as Sheng Pao, Benson Fong as General Kung, and Richard Liu as Mao Tzu. Also heard were John Daner, Ramsey Hill, Bill Conrad, and Rick Vallon. Special music was arranged and played by Ivan Dittmar. Next week...
You are standing on an ancient pyramid hidden in the depths of Yucatan. Somewhere beneath your feet lies a sacred shrine with millions in jewels and gold. But from the impenetrable jungle and the fanatic high priests of the Mayas, there can be no escape.
Next week, we escape with the story of a man and woman whose lust for gold led them to dangerous defiance of the laws of a primitive but still powerful cult. As Les Crutchfield and Paul Pierce tell it in The Golden Snake. Goodbye, then, until the same time next week when, once again, we offer you Escape. Everyone wants to give a helping hand to America's crippled children. That's why everyone is buying Easter seals. Money from the sale of these seals helps to carry on the good work of the National Society for Crippled Children and Adults, which conducts an extensive program of education, research, and personal care for the physically handicapped. So, do your part by buying Easter seals. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
And Good Hot Ralston presents Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Cadet Happy is piloting a space observatory while a scientist studies a strange phenomenon. It's an invisible force that completely destroys all matter. Right now, Buzz Corey is in Terra the Fifth, warning Happy to veer away from the force. But too late. Out of control, the space observatory whirls toward the invisible menace.
Happy, can you hear me? Pull away from it. I'm trying to, sir, but the rockets don't seem to have any effect.
Use full power on your starboard rocket.
I am, sir, but we're caught in some sort of a whirlpool.
Hap, hit full repeller ray. If you're caught in there, you're finished. We'll be back in just a moment with today's Space Patrol story, The Hole in Empty Space.
Extra, read all about it. Buzz Corey offers an official Space Patrol spaceophone set to every boy and girl on Earth. Extra.
You hear that, gang? That's right. Buzz Corey will send you a real, honest-to-goodness Space Patrol spaceophone set. Sounds just like a walkie-talkie. Looks just like the spaceophone Buzz Corey himself uses. Imagine, you can talk on it to someone a straight 50 feet away. Let me show you with this spaceophone right here. Calling Bob Raitt. Can you hear me, Bob?
I'll say loud and clear.
Just like talking on the walkie-talkie and the telephone, right?
Right. I call it the magic phone you can carry anywhere.
Yes, sir. See how the spaceophone sounds, boys and girls? Just like a telephone. Just like a walkie-talkie. And lots of fun. Yes, sir. So send for your spaceophone set today. You get 2 blue and yellow plastic spaceophones. You get 50 feet of communication cord. You get a spaceophone briefing sheet. Now, here's all you do to get the entire set. Buy a box of Instant Ralston. Then, with your name and address, send 25 cents in coin and an Instant Ralston box top to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in continental U.S. and may be withdrawn at any time. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Space Patrol, with its well-trained personnel, has a very high morale. Disciplinary action is rarely necessary. In fact, a serious infraction of important regulations is so unusual that Commander Corey himself insists on a personal accounting from the men involved. Right now, Buzz is reading a report from the Commandant of the Mercury Patrol Squadron as Happy enters the central office on Terra.
Commander.
Yes, Happy?
Lieutenant Grayson's waiting in the outer office.
Oh, thanks. Ask him to come in, please.
Yes, sir. Lieutenant Grayson, Commander Corey wants to see you.
I'll call you when I'm through here, Happy.
Yes, sir.
Commander? At ease, Lieutenant. Sit down. Yes, sir. You have an exceptionally fine record. I've been looking it over, and so far I can find no explanation for your behavior the last few hours.
I'm sorry, Commander.
Is that all you have to say?
Except that I'm ready to take the brainograph test.
Lieutenant, it shouldn't be necessary to resort to the brainograph to obtain a routine report from a Space Patrol officer.
I realize that, sir.
You returned from a routine search mission, 3 hours overdue and with ammunition expended, yet you refused to offer any explanation.
Those are the facts, Commander.
I want a straightforward answer. Why didn't you file a report with your commanding officer?
Commander, Colonel Gregory is a practical officer. He goes strictly by regulations, by routine.
That's hardly a criticism, Lieutenant.
I realize that, sir. But if I told Colonel Gregory what happened out there, he'd conclude that I was, well, space happy.
You're not responsible for the conclusions of your commanding officer.
In all due respect, Commander, in this case, I'm not so sure.
What do you mean?
Something's out there in space that regulations don't cover. Commander, I want a brainograph test so I can be sure of myself, sure that my mind isn't playing tricks on me.
Grayson, suppose you tell me the whole story.
All right, Commander. I was about to head back for Mercury when I saw a meteor. I tracked it on the viewscope to see if it was headed toward any shipping lanes.
Yes?
It was still pretty big on the screen when it suddenly vanished.
Exploded?
No, sir, just vanished. I started after it and checked for fragments. There weren't any. It was just as though the meteor disappeared into a hole in space.
A hole in space?
I know it doesn't make sense, but that's the only way I can describe it. Nothing showed up on the viewscope. I tried both the ultraviolet and infrared scanners. Nothing.
What about the cosmic missiles you fired?
I swung in a wide circle around the point where the meteor disappeared. Suddenly, a black spot appeared on the sun, as though a planet were between me and the sun, an eclipse.
But it wasn't a planet?
No, Commander. There was no planet within thousands of DUs. There was nothing, no solid object to account for that spot.
Well, maybe it was on the sun itself.
No, because it moved across the sun in relation to the movement of my ship. That's when I fired the cosmic missiles.
What happened?
The missiles vanished.
Without an explosion?
Without an explosion.
Lieutenant, that's the strangest story I ever heard.
You don't believe me?
I didn't say that. I think your account deserves further investigation. You should have told Colonel Gregory.
He'd have put me in the infirmary for mental and emotional checkup. I figured I'd get a brainograph test sooner if I risked disciplinary action. And I was right. He sent me here to Terra immediately.
That isn't a very wise risk to take, Grayson.
Commander, that thing in space, whatever it is moving. Moving toward the inner planets.
Can you point out the location where you saw it on that wall chart?
Yes, sir. It was approaching the Mercury orbit on a line from the star Myra. About here, sir.
How fast was it moving?
It seemed to vary, but at the time I wasn't in any condition to make accurate measurements. I thought I was going space happy for certain.
Are you ready for that brainograph test?
Yes, sir.
Then come on.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
Happy, will you get Major Robertson? I want to run a brainograph test.
Yes, sir. Oh, here's a top priority bulletin from communications, sir. A robot space freighter vanished.
What do you mean, vanished?
Well, it suddenly pulled off course. 2 passenger ships tracked it. It swung in a wide circle, then smaller and smaller circles, and then just disappeared. Not a trace on the viewscopes.
Where did this happen?
Midway between Mercury and Venus, sir. On an orientation line with Myra.
Lieutenant Grayson, I think we'll cancel that brainograph test. Happy.
Yes, sir.
Get my ship ready immediately. I'll notify Colonel Gregory that Lieutenant Grayson is assigned to temporary duty with headquarters.
Thank you, sir.
As astrogator aboard Terra 5.
Commander, we're out beyond the point where the robot freighter vanished.
Very good, Lieutenant. Happy established a zigzag course toward the sun.
Yes, sir.
We'll lace back and forth across the line between the sun and Myra. Reduce our velocity to 10,000 DUs.
Right, sir.
All viewscopes negative, Commander.
What's our approximate position, Grayson?
In a few minutes, we'll cross the Venus orbit, sir.
Well, this is the craziest search I've ever been on, Commander. Looking for something that isn't here.
It's there, all right. It just doesn't show up on any instruments. If you could have seen that meteor vanish and those missiles...
Oh, wait. There's something moving across the sun.
A black spot.
That's it. We've located it.
Now, let's be certain. Check the viewscope, Happy.
Yes, sir.
Does anything register?
Nothing except the sun itself.
Reverse rockets while I turn on the space phone, Happy. We'll hold our present position for the time being. Commander Corey in Terra 5 to Major Robertson at Space Patrol Headquarters, Terra. Commander Corey to Major Robertson.
Major
Robertson here. Go ahead, Commander.
Robbie, we're at the Venus orbit, Sun-Myra orientation. We found what we're looking for.
What is it?
We don't know. It's visible only as a black spot against the sun, and it definitely is not a solid object.
Well, I've contacted Professor Jelka for you, Commander. He's aboard Space Observatory number 2 off Saturn.
Good. Robbie, spacephone and all planets bulletin immediately. All shipping is to avoid this sector of space until further notice.
Yes, Commander.
All commercial, private, and space patrol ships are to evacuate this sector immediately.
Roger. Well, Professor Jelka is waiting on the 150 megacycle channel, Commander.
Thanks, Robbie. Corey out. Happy switch to 150 MCs.
Yes, sir.
Commander Corey aboard Terra 5 calling Professor Jelka aboard Space Observatory number 2.
Professor Jelka here. Go ahead, Commander.
Professor, have you detected any unusual phenomenon in space the last few days in the direction of Myra?
No, Commander.
There's something out there, now within the orbit of Venus. It's not a solid object, but it cuts off light from the sun.
Well, it's possibly a cloud of gas or tiny particles.
Too sharp an outline, Professor. Besides, things like meteors, cosmic missiles, and spaceships just don't disappear permanently in a gas cloud.
Did you say disappear?
Vanish completely, without an explosion or a trace.
Commander, I must have a chance to study this thing at once. I think I know what it is.
It's got us baffled. What is it?
I call it a cycloplex.
Cycloplex?
I wrote a paper about it 12 years ago, purely as a theoretical idea.
This is no theory. It exists.
This is marvelous, Commander. With your permission, I pulled the Space Observatory out of the orbit around Saturn and head for your present location.
Good. No ordinary instruments register it. You might have some that will. Set your vector for Pluto. Where that vector crosses the orbit of Venus, you'll roughly be at our position.
Thank you, Commander. I'll contact you when I'm on the vector.
Good. Corey out.
Well, at least there's one man in the solar system who seems to have an idea what this thing is.
I hope so. But what's more important, I hope he'll know what to do about it.
I've got the observatory in the viewscope, sir. It's only a few DUs away.
Well, very good time, considering. Turn on the spacephone, Happy.
Yes, sir.
Corey aboard Terra 5 calling Professor Jelka.
Jelka here. Go ahead, Commander.
We've picked up the observatory in the viewscope. Have you located us?
Yes, Commander. But I can't detect the cycloplex. I've used several types of detection devices.
You'll see the black disk against the sun in a few minutes. We'll join space locks with you and come aboard the observatory.
Very good, Commander.
Corey out. Grayson.
Yes, sir?
Well, Happy and I handle the controls. You watch that black spot. If it moves away from the sun, let me know.
Right, Commander. We're abreast of the observatory airlock, sir.
Good. Stand by with magnetic holding fields.
Standing by, sir.
Corey to Jelka.
Go ahead, Commander.
Professor, hold your space observatory on an even vector. We're going to make contact.
Yes, Commander.
Apply magnetic holding field, Happy.
Space lock secured, sir.
Lieutenant Grayson, keep an eye on the controls. Happy and I will enter the observatory.
Yes, sir.
Open the inner hatch, Happy. Press the release catch in the observatory hull.
Come in, Commander. This is the most thrilling moment of my life.
Professor Jelka, it's about the most puzzling moment of mine. Now, this is my cadet, Happy.
How do you do, Professor?
How do you do? I tell you, Commander, this is a cycloplex, just as I described it 12 years ago. They really do exist.
Fine, Professor, but tell me, just what is a cycloplex?
Well, you might call it a hole in space.
That's just the way Grayson described it.
Grayson?
Lieutenant Grayson, the space patrol officer who discovered it. Professor, this cycloplex has already destroyed a meteor, 2 cosmic missiles, and a robot spaceship, and it's moving toward the inner planets. If it holds its present direction and velocity, Mars will move right into it in a few days.
That would indeed be a calamity.
What's the nature of this thing? What happens to objects that move into it?
Well, they are transported into other dimensions, or perhaps into a matrix of several dimensions.
Well, they cease to exist in space as we know it, that's certain.
Yes. For years, mathematicians have speculated on the possibility of many separate dimensions existing simultaneously. I'd like to circle around it and study it some more, or to maneuver the observatory and still manage the instruments.
Well, Commander, the controls are very much like standard spaceship controls. Couldn't I work them while the professor handles the instruments?
That would be splendid.
All right, Happy, you maneuver the observatory. I'll go back to our ship with Grayson. We'll keep you informed as nearly as we can on the location of the cycloplex.
Commander, they're getting pretty close.
I'll tell Happy to be careful. Commander Corey to Cadet Happy.
Happy here. Go ahead, sir.
You're veering pretty close to the cycloplex, Happy. Change your vector.
The professor wants me to hold it on this heading, sir. His instruments are beginning to pick up something.
Remember what happened to that robot spaceship, Cadet?
But this isn't a robot, and the instruments are picking up something. We are on the verge of an exciting discovery, Commander. According to my
Well, right now, Professor, I'm relying on Grayson. He's had practical experience with this thing. Happy, this is an order. Pull away from the cycloplex.
Yes, sir.
Look at the observatory. It's whirling toward it.
Happy, pull away from it.
I'm trying to, sir, but the rockets don't seem to have any effect.
Use full power on your starboard rocket.
I am, but we're caught in some sort of a whirlpool.
Pat, hit full repeller ray. If you're caught in that cycloplex, you're finished.
We'll be back with Space Patrol in just a moment. Hi, gang. Space Patroller Dick Tufeld speaking from the planet Earth. Today I'm doing a man-on-the-street report. Going to see what some of these young fellows here on their way to school think about those 3 checkerboard super cereals, Rice Chex, Wheat Chex, and Instant Ralston. Now, here's a sharp-looking lad. Say, tell me, what did you say the very first time you tried delicious Wheat Chex, that bite-sized super cereal spun out of shredded wheat?
What did I say? I said,
Enough said, thank you. Now, here's a fine-looking boy. Say, what do you think of Rice Chex, the bite-sized super cereal made of crisp and crunchy shredded rice? What did you say, for example, the very first time you tried it? Thank you, that's good enough for me. And here's another young man. Tell me, what's your opinion of Instant Ralston, the hot super cereal?
Man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man.
There you are, gang. That's what these fellows think about the checkerboard super cereals. The only 3 official cereals of the Space Patrol. Try them yourself. You'll say the same thing.
Man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man.
Get them at your grocers today in the red and white checkerboard packages. The super cereals that help to supercharge you Rice Chex, Wheat Chex, and to warm up your motor, good hot Ralston. A Space Patrol officer, Lieutenant Grayson, has discovered an alarming peril in outer space, an invisible force that completely destroys matter without leaving a trace. Professor Jelka, an astronomer and mathematician, says this force, which he calls a cycloplex, is actually a hole in outer space. Happy, piloting the space observatory for the professor, flew in too close to the strange force. Now the observatory is being whirled closer and closer to disaster. Meantime, Commander Corey and Lieutenant Grayson in Terror the Fifth are trying desperately to find a way to save Happy and Professor Jelka.
Happy, is your repeller ray on full?
Yes, sir. All rockets on the starboard side and stern as well.
The observatory is being pulled faster than ever toward the cycloplex.
Jelka never should have ordered Happy to go so close.
The observatories have a very low power ratio in proportion to their mass, Grayson. We can only give it a boost with our own power.
You mean make magnetic contact with the observatory?
Yes.
Great idea, Commander.
You realize what'll happen if we fail?
I'm waiting your orders, Commander.
Then let's go. You handle the magnetic holding field, Grayson.
Yes, sir.
Commander, what are you doing?
I'm going to tow you away from the cycloplex.
Don't try it, sir. There's some sort of a whirlpool effect. A vortex, the professor calls it.
Verify they have enough power to pull itself and the observatory out of danger.
But, sir, you can't.
The sooner we act, the better chance we'll all have. Stand by for orders.
Standing by, sir.
We're ready to make contact, Happy. Grayson, apply magnetic holding field.
Yes, sir.
All right, Happy. Keep the observatory rockets on full power.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to increase our own power slowly at first. We won't try to fight the cycloplex force too strongly. We'll cut across at a tangent, understand?
Yes, Commander.
Here we go.
Is it working, Commander?
I can't tell yet. Happy.
Yes, sir.
As I increase the ship's power, it'll put a terrific strain on the hull of the observatory. Watch for any sign of damage.
I will, Commander.
There's that sound again. What is it?
Coming from the spaceophone system. Happy, do you hear it?
Yes, sir. You're picking it up from the professor's instruments. He says it's caused by the cycloplex.
Commander, our vector's changing. We're moving away from the cycloplex.
We'll add a little more power. Happy, did the professor turn off his instruments?
No, sir.
Then we're free of the cycloplex pull.
That's right, sir. we're swinging away in the other direction.
Good. Wow. What a relief. Happy, we'll proceed several DUs away from this position until we're sure we're safe before we break contact.
Yes, sir.
Then we'll join space locks and come aboard the observatory. Got it?
Yes, Commander. I'll maintain vector till further orders.
Check. Corey out.
Come in, Commander.
How did the observatory stand up under that pull?
Well, apparently quite well.
Smoking rockets, Commander. For a while there, I thought we were all going to plunge right into the core of that cycloplex.
I thought so, too, Happy. Professor, did you manage to find out anything about this phenomenon?
Very little. Although it did finally activate some of the instruments.
Exactly what is it, this force?
I can't say. Apparently, this vortex, the whirlpool effect, is some sort of an electromagnetism. And that might account for its effect on the instruments.
And this whirlpool effect extends beyond the core.
Yes, it draws the objects into the center if they get too close.
We sure found that out.
And we also know that this force is moving steadily toward Mars.
They've got to get busy and do something.
Well, is this cycloplex big enough to swallow a whole planet?
What about that, Professor?
Well, the core itself is fairly small. But with that vortex of force around it, it might easily demolish Mars. Certainly, it would make it unlivable.
Well, how can we fight this cycloplex? Every force we know of has some other force that can oppose it.
But this thing is from some other dimension, Commander. It's an intruder into our space-time system.
You mean it isn't even from another galaxy? From another part of our space?
Yes, it's completely new to us, Cadet.
It's impossible to imagine dimensions beyond the three we know, length, breadth, and thickness. Professor, you mentioned that it has some sort of magnetic effect.
That's right.
Suppose we could produce a powerful magnetic force to oppose it.
It would take more power than any planet power system could produce. And how could we transfer it here?
Professor, you've heard of Huddleston's ring, haven't you?
Yes. Very interesting effect.
What's Huddleston's ring, sir?
It makes use of an effect that occurs at temperatures close to absolute zero.
Oh, like those of outer space?
Exactly. Extremely low temperatures, some metals become superconductors of electricity.
Superconductors?
They have no resistance to the flow of current.
That means if a current is started in a ring made of a superconducting material, it flows indefinitely.
Even when the power's cut off?
Right. And if the power is constantly applied, the current builds up. It increases more and more.
Oh, I see.
A scientist named Huddleston has been conducting experiments with a giant ring in outer space near Jupiter.
Yes. He has a laboratory spaceship in the center of the ring.
Suppose that Huddleston turns the power on full, charging that ring and the magnets around it, and keeps the power on. Would it destroy the cycloplex?
Perhaps. It would be dangerous. A magnetic force of incredible intensity would be built up. There is no telling.
Professor, I want to send Huddleston's ring into that cycloplex. Under robot control, naturally.
Well, Professor, do you think it would work?
I don't know. But it's a challenging experiment. If it did, it would prove that electromagnetism is a force common to all dimensions of existence.
Right now, I'm not interested in proving any theory. I want to save Mars. Happy, let's get back to Terra 5. I want to contact Huddleston.
Cycloplex seems to be moving steadily toward Mars, Commander.
Keep the ship moving with it, Grayson. Keep that black circle right in the center of the sun.
Yes, sir.
Major Robertson, Space Patrol Headquarters, Terra, calling Commander Corey aboard Terra 5.
I'll take it. Happy to hand me that vector analysis, please.
Here you are, sir.
Corey, here, Robbie. Go ahead.
We've contacted Huddleston, Commander. He's all enthused over the idea.
Oh, good. How long will it take him to get the ring on the way? Or does he have to convert the controls to robot?
No, a robot unit was built into the ship. Huddleston's in the ring waiting for your instructions.
Well, here's the procedure, Robbie. Huddleston will pull out of the orbit around Jupiter under manual control.
Check.
When he's on the vector, which I give you in a minute, a Space Patrol cruiser will pick him up in space. Huddleston will handle the ring and its lab ship by remote control until we pick it up on our view scope.
Got it, Commander.
Then I'll take control of the ring from that point on. Okay, Robbie. Now, here's the vector I want you to relay to Huddleston.
Nothing on the view scope yet, sir.
Widen the scanning arc, Happy. The lab ship may be slightly off vector.
Yes, sir.
Commander.
Yes, Grayson.
Cycloplex seems to be increasing velocity.
Any change in vector?
No, sir.
I'll check with Professor Jelka. Corey to Jelka in observatory.
Jelka here. Go ahead, Commander.
Lieutenant Grayson reports an increase of velocity by the cycloplex.
He's right, Commander. My calculations confirm it.
Is it still heading toward Mars?
Yes, Commander.
Is there any possibility of its changing direction?
I'm afraid its motion is unpredictable. We don't know enough about it.
Well, that's all, Professor. Thank you.
Commander, look at the viewscope. I never saw an image like that before.
It isn't very clear, Happy. See if you can get rid of that blur.
I'll try it, sir. No, sir. That's as clear as I can get it.
I'll check with Robbie. Commander Corey to Major Robertson.
Robertson here. Go ahead, Commander.
We've picked something up in the viewscope, but it doesn't look like Huddleston's ring and lab ship.
You got a blurred blotch?
Yes.
Now, that's the ring, Commander. I've been tracking it from Jupiter. Huddleston says your screen's blur is a tremendous magnetic force.
Right, Robbie. I'm ready to take over control of the ring. It's now 14:20 and 15 seconds, universal start time. Tell Huddleston the switchover will occur at 14:21. Corey out.
The ring's approaching very fast, Commander.
The robot control panel's ready, sir. Fine, Grayson. Happy you take over our controls.
Yes, sir.
Grayson, feed the viewscope data into the vector computer. Yes, sir. I want to get the ring headed for the target as soon as possible after switchover. It might be hard to control if that magnetic force builds up much higher.
10 seconds to switch over.
Trajectory computed, Commander. Thanks, Grayson.
5 seconds. 3, 0.
Now we'll find out if we've got the ring under control. Watch the viewscope, Grayson. See if the ring turns in the new vector.
It's responding, Commander.
Good. It's heading straight for the cycloplex now. Nothing to do but wait and hope it works. A few more seconds, we'll know.
Yeah, Huddleston's ring is practically in the outer field of the vortex now.
Nothing's happening, though.
Wait. The blur on the lab ship seems to be dimming.
It's as though the cycloplex were choking down the magnetism.
Look, you can see the outline of the ring now, and the lab ship.
I'm afraid it's not going to work, Commander. The power of the cycloplex is too strong.
Wow, look at that. The lab ship just flew apart.
The ring is still intact.
The blur's building up again.
Magnetic force pulled the ship apart.
The ring's in the black circle now. Golly, something's happening.
It's a battle of magnetic forces.
The black circle is growing smaller.
It sure is. It's shrinking.
And rapidly.
If that ring can hold up long enough...
The cycloplex is just a black dot. It's gone. The cycloplex is gone, Commander. It worked.
Whew. Look at the viewscope, man. Huddleston's ring is still there.
Thanks to you, Commander. It saved a planet.
It took all of us. Enter the story in our logbook, Happy.
Yes, sir.
What a mission to describe. We've just filled in a hole in empty space.
Hey, maybe I should make the log entry in invisible ink.
We'll be back with an exciting preview of next week's thrilling Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. Hey, it's got things popping everywhere. It's setting the world on fire. It's even stopping traffic. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the Space Patrol Spaceophone, and I'm going to tell you how to get a set. A set complete with 2 spacephones, 50 feet of communication cord, and an official briefing sheet on spacephoning. What an offer! What an invention! The magic phone you can carry everywhere. Sounds like the walkie-talkie in the telephone. Barrels of fun. You can talk to someone standing a straight 50 feet away. Now, I'll show you with this spaceophone here. Hello, Commander Corey.
Hi, Dick. Hi, gang. Aren't these spacephones terrific? You can play Space Patrol with them just as though you were a real space patroller living up here on Terra.
Yes, sir, gang. Your spaceophone will look exactly like the ones space patrollers use. Only yours will be even more terrific because they're a special model made for use on Earth alone. And good-looking, too. Handsome blue and yellow plastic.
Now, don't wait. Send for your spaceophone set today.
Complete with 2 spacephones, 50 feet of cord, and a briefing sheet. Now, here's all you do. Buy a box of Instant Ralston. Then, with your name and address, send 25 cents in coin and an Instant Ralston box top to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now, an action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol story. Buzz and Happy have been captured by 2 criminals and are aboard a relay space station near the Pluto orbit. While the criminals are removing a secret power unit, Buzz and Happy are locked in a passageway looking for some method of escape.
The lights. What happened to the lights?
They must have disconnected the Cosmolite power unit.
They'll be coming through the passage in a minute to get us, Commander.
They won't need to, Happy. Stecker has already figured out how he's going to get rid of us.
How?
When they get back into their ship, they're going to leave the relay station airlock open.
What?
In a few seconds, this passage will be a complete vacuum. Every bit of air will escape into space.
Be sure to be with us next Saturday for the exciting story, The Glowworm Project, when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again bring you Space Patrol! And now, a special message from Commander Corey.
Boys and girls, this is your commander. I'm now holding an important bottle. When empty, it's worth very little. When filled, it's the most valuable bottle in the world. I mean, when it's filled with the greatest gift one person can give to another, his own blood. America has millions of these bottles to fill, and any grown-up can fill them. So, gang, will you help me get that message across to every grown-up in the USA? Then do this. Join the Space Patrol Blood Boosters now.
Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, directed by Larry Robertson. Other players were Bela Kovac, Ken Mayer, Dick Beals, and Norman Jolly. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Wheat Checks, Rice Checks, and Good Hot Ralston again present the new, exciting Space Patrol. And be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol story on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. Space Patrol comes to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.